Stuck at the Airport podcast,
Hi,
part 3.
howdy, hello. I'm Joe Rogan.
I'm Jamie.
Pull that up.
Jamie, can you pull that up? I never know where to put my mic.
Yeah, I know. I feel so like I don't understand.
Yours is like held together with duct tapes, toothpicks, and glue.
Well, as long as it.
Yeah, these
I'm playing
things.
guitar over
These
here.
things are so shitty. I'm gonna get new ones eventually, but
Yeah.
that's for another time.
Well, how was your week?
Same old, you know.
Didn't do anything crazy.
No,
Nothing different.
I don't do anything like on the weekdays. I go to the gym. I go home and I work on other stuff. I don't go on adventures,
It's more than most people.
I guess.
Yeah. However, the gym is a painful experience. At least for me. It hurts.
You fell.
Yeah, I did fall. Don't do Bulgarian split squats, please. If you care about your well-being. I did fall yesterday. Hurt a lot. Fell onto my squat rack.
The Bulgarian split squats are, you have the bar on your back, and you kick a leg up on top of the bench, and then you use the other leg to just squat.
You can
switch.
use free weights, which I use dumbbells.
Just hold them down.
Yeah, or you can use a barbell. I've done the barbell, but it's so hard for me to balance. I haven't built those stabilizer muscles, so I was like, oh, so funny looking. So I just use the free weights, and I kick one leg back on my bench, and then I just do a squat, I guess, with my one leg. It's very painful.
I haven't done that kind of squat in a very long time. I
try
haven't
it.
done a free weight squat with like a barbell in a while.
Which is insane to me. Like to hear that.
I like doing it. If I do legs, it's mostly like I'll do leg press, leg extensions, any like machine press I like doing, or I started using the Smith machine for squats.
So you've matured, because I know when you're younger, the Smith machine is like the don't even fucking
Yeah,
touch it.
it's like the you're a bitch if you use a Smith machine.
But it turns out it's probably better for hypertrophy because
I
can
fucking love the Smith machine.
contract the specific muscle more.
Now when I do flat bench, I still use like free weight barbell because
It's classic.
it's just fun.
Classic.
It's fun.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, fuck free weight squat and fuck deadlift.
I agree on the deadlift. We used to get into about deadlifts. I was like, fuck you, deadlifts are the best thing ever.
Dude, there's so...
No. They hurt my back.
Have you used a hex bar to deadlift?
I love the hex bar. Hex bar
The
deadlift.
hex bar's fun.
Like twice a week now. Like I do 4 or 5 sets of that.
You have a hex bar?
Mm-hmm. It was only like $70 on Amazon.
That's
and
not bad.
It's great. Like it's not grade A welds, but does the job well. It hasn't fallen apart yet.
My buddy pulled his back like 3 times doing hex bar squats, so it kind of scared me away from it.
Hex bar squats.
Or fucking deadlift.
Oh, what the fuck's that?
It's when we were in high school with football and stuff. It was when you're in high school, you want to put on as much weight as possible to look like a badass.
The ego is very high.
And it bit him in the ass.
It's been me in the ass before. Yeah. I feel a lot more comfortable. Like I don't feel like I have to be perfect, I guess. Which I felt on the deadlift, but at the time I was ego lifting. Because I was at the gym, I was insecure. I'm the skinny guy at the gym. Like, hey everybody, look how much I can deadlift. Ha 25 pounds. But look. So you saw videos of me deadlifting. I looked like a shrimp. I would arch my back into like the letter C. It was
that
bad.
Just sounds painful.
It didn't hurt in the moment, but like the next day, it would be like, why? Why did I do that to myself? For what? No one's looking at me like, yeah, look at him. They're looking at me going, wow, what the fuck?
No one's even looking at you.
No one cares. They're all doing their own thing.
The only time I look at someone is the quarter repper. You know who the quarter repper is.
That's a legend.
He's,
Put respect on his name.
No, he's a fucking dick.
He is a dick, but bro's getting after it.
He's not making gains, though. He's been there. I joined that gym in when did I turn 18? 2016?
It'd be
or 2017.
7 years ago. That's crazy.
2017 is when I joined, I think.
2016, 17.
And he was going there since I've been there. This dude looks exactly the same. Nothing has changed.
When he looks in the mirror, he sees like like Ronnie Coleman in his prime. Like he has to like believe that what he's doing is working.
If he does, good for him.
Yeah, good for him. More power to you.
But like, dude, fix your shit.
He's not just quarter repper.
He's like he's like 1/8 repper.
But the things that he does, the movements that he does, are so bizarre. Like how has he not hurt himself?
I don't know the amount of weights he puts on.
Yeah, it would hurt like a normal. Maybe superhuman. Maybe we're the wrong ones. Maybe he builds for strength and he's like Larry Wheels, but he looks like me.
Well,
like,
the thing is, like, if he were to even attempt to apply that strength or the amount of weight that he's putting on, he's like, well, I can deadlift 600 pounds. And then he does his thing. Then he attempts to do that, like, fully. He won't be able to do it.
No.
He can't rep that out.
I wonder if you told him, like, he has to do a full range of motion on, like, one thing, like, if it would humble his ass. Like, oh, damn, this ain't working.
Here, dude, just go all the way down in the leg press with your 15 plates each side on there.
Hey, he's been at it for years and he's not going to stop.
I mean, hey, if he hasn't hurt himself, whatever floats his boat, I suppose.
I suppose.
I
So-
suppose.
We had a very busy week in America this week.
It feels like a circle, you know?
Mm.
I was a very small child for like 9/11. I was like 3 years old.
Yeah, I was 4, I think.
And this doesn't feel 9/11-esque, obviously. We didn't get a terrorist attack, but... dude, the Middle East is just...
A shithole.
Yes, it just...
Everything's a shit
Everything
show.
fucking sucks.
Hmm.
There is nothing decent going on in the Middle East right now.
No,
Or hasn't been for a long time.
and we're not helping.
No, we're not helping at all.
Do you feel like the end goal of what's going on right now with Yemen is the same as what went on with like 9/11? Ultimate war with Iraq.
I feel like Iraq isn't even a threat.
Or
hasn't-
Iran, I
hasn't
mean.
been. With
Iran, well, the Houthis are
they're
Iranian backed.
Yeah, backed by Iran. I don't know why they want... Just think about this like logically for just a second. A country, Yemen, which is at civil war with itself, is provoking the largest superpower and the biggest military strength on the face of the planet.
Yeah, they went fucking pirate mode.
Why would anyone there think that they have a shot at doing anything to harm the U.S.? Aside from like a terrorist attack, if they want to provoke a war, which I saw a video of a lot of them shouting that they do, how do you possibly think that you can win against that? Just the sheer military might we have. We don't even have to put boots on the ground and we can level the country.
Well, let's put ourselves in their like head space. Like I don't know. Like if I'm them, like what am I thinking? Like I have backing from this country and maybe they get propaganda as they're more powerful than they think they are. I don't know. How does that work?
I wish I knew. That's like you going up to Ronnie Coleman and saying like, I bet I can kick your ass.
Or I bet I could like leg press or bench press more than you.
Yeah. Or
Like,
it's like who's the best UFC fighter? I don't follow.
Khabib Nurmagomedov.
It's like you walking up to that guy and being like, I'm going to kick your fucking ass,
well, I
bro.
would. I don't mean to brag, but
you would, but
I would. So I just put that out there. I don't want him to shit on my skills here. I would beat him up, hands behind my back, and an alligator on the other side. All right, go ahead. Sorry. Had to get that out there.
that's kind of what that's like.
Yeah. Okay, I get it. I see what you're saying. No, he is right. He's right. I don't understand their thought process, and it's like delusional. Like, but even if I know I have a biased opinion. We both do because we live in the U.S.
Yeah.
If I was outside the U.S. and had knowledge of war power for different countries, and I was Yemen, I wouldn't fuck with Russia. I wouldn't fuck with China. I wouldn't fuck with the United States. I would know better. Like, don't fuck with these countries because they dwarf you in power in every form: air, sea, land, nuclear bombs. Like, it's not even close.
They're also at civil war with themselves.
So what's the purpose? Do they have a different purpose that we're not seeing?
I don't know. I have no idea how they can anyone in that country can possibly think that's a good idea.
Because we tried to negotiate, but they're like, fuck you. Since October, right?
Yeah.
They've been doing it. And we tried to go the nice route, I guess, in our way, but they didn't cease fire at all.
So I've been like reading a lot about it today, and what I've kind of gathered is they've been blockading that strait through Yemen up to Israel to stop Israel from getting supplies.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like every ship going through there is not up there just to go to Israel. Or is that naive of me to think?
I have no idea.
Like that's an international trade route that goes to the Suez Canal.
Which the United States, well, the NATO's goal is to protect international trade.
And they've
That's one of their...
done piracy and taken ships.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a big no-no and has been for a very long time.
They've shot missiles at United States ships.
U.S. warships at international shipping ships that were not U.S. owned, that are owned by other countries.
Mm-hmm.
They just fired at a Russian ship.
So why? What do they know? Like what they're firing at, or are they just
I don't know.
throwing shots in the dark? Like
Probably just
let's bomb them. Fuck.
just shooting missiles
Russia.
out. It's very weird. Their thought process. I don't get it. I really don't get it.
I mean, I guess we're thinking in logical terms because we're from a first world country with proper education, I guess you could say. Maybe they're in more of that death to America, like terrorism like mode of like, fuck, if I die, I don't care. Like, I'm going to kill as many of you bastards as I can.
Maybe.
Like they've gone haywire basically in a way. Like they're so passionate about killing us or the opposition, the ops.
The ops.
They're just like, fuck, I'm almost spin the block. Like if I die, I die. You know?
I don't know.
Like suicide bombers.
Yeah.
Like, fuck it, I'm getting virgins and I'm fucking dying.
I feel like all this shit could, like, even Israel and Gaza, just, if there was no religion, would they even have a reason to fight?
I feel like they'd come up with one. You know what I mean? Like if it wasn't for religion, it'd be something else.
One thing that I've noticed
But I get what you're saying.
a lot recently is how much people don't like Jews.
Yeah.
They do
Including
not like
the
Jewish
Houthis.
people. Everyone hates Jewish people.
And it's like now it's instead of like say somebody posts a meme on like social media that's like anti-Semitic. It's cool now. Like nobody shits on it. Like everybody's like, oh fuck the Jews, fuck you guys. Like you sewer fucking Teenage Mutant Ninja Jews. Like fuck you. Like it's like what? When did this become okay?
I guess maybe it's always been there. It's just now more okay.
But you would always see like people like backfiring on them. Like you can't say that. Like fuck you. But you're barely. I mean, you're seeing it, but not to the extent that you were.
Anti-Semitism to me has always been like the meme of kind of being like a racist asshole.
Hmm.
It's like if you say something about like black people or Asians, it's like that's not cool. But if you do it about Jews, I feel like a lot of people are like, ah ha ha, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Everybody
the Jews run
hates
everything.
fucking Jews. Why?
I don't know. I have no idea.
I mean, like this goes back hundreds of years, like before World War II. Like there was other countries that were at war with like the Jewish people. Like why? What's so bad about them? I mean, they've never personally done anything to me.
Me
Like
neither.
I've never had a bad Jewish experience.
I've never really had a bad experience with like any religion besides Christianity, I guess.
Yeah,
Like a Muslim has never done anything to me.
yeah.
I've never met a Jew's never done anything to me.
And I've definitely known Jews in the past. And
Yeah, I don't.
saying Jew almost sounds like wrong.
I think it does sound kind of.
But I don't think it is. It's just, you know what I mean? Like that fucking Jew. It's like,
Yeah,
I
I
don't
guess
mean anything by it.
the context in which you say it might matter.
Yeah. I don't know. Even South Park hates Jews. They're always shitting on them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's funny to do it.
Yeah, and it's like,
Well, they also do it with like
Asian.
pretty much every religion, every race.
Yeah. Which I think is good. I think that we should always have humor about. Like, you know what I mean? Like, don't take, unless
Yeah,
it's like
if you
crossing
have
the line.
If you have a stick up your ass about everything, then
Yeah.
you're just
Like,
gonna
make
get
fun of
pissed
white
off.
people. I think it's funny.
Yeah, please make fun of white people.
Yeah, I think it's hilarious.
I think I'll use my credit card. Like,
Yeah.
that's funny shit.
I'm a mayonnaise warrior. I think it's funny.
Mayonnaise warrior.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, dude. But yeah, as far as the like the Yemen and the bombing goes, there's you could argue that they violated Act 1 of the Constitution by not going through Congress, but
Well, it's not an act of war,
it's not an act of war, but
or it's not a declaration.
by rule they would have had to have gone through a congressional hearing for this. But they claim that there's a loophole, I guess, that if it's an emergency, which I can see how they say that, they're attacking U.S. property, then they don't have to go through Congress. They're supposed to give them a 48-hour warning.
Every other president has been
That's what I
drone
thought.
striking.
Barack Obama.
Trump drone strike had drone strikes. Obama had a ton of drone
Yeah.
strikes. Bush
Eh.
he had some wars.
He had some stuff going on.
He had some wars.
We shouldn't be happy about.
But yeah, everyone has been drone striking. I mean, these weren't drone strikes. They were
Yeah.
Tomahawk cruise missiles, submarines, and F-18s.
And not all of them went through the congressional hearing. I'm sure some of them did, but not all of them. And they're supposed to give them 48-hour notice, I guess.
I don't know. They did the fuck around, and now they're finding out.
They did. So when this is done, we're what's our goal here? And what do they? How do they respond by escalating? Is this an escalation? I think it's an escalation of war.
It's definitely an escalation.
Not through Yemen specifically, like the Houthis, but through Iran and the Middle East.
I feel like has Iran even said anything about this?
I'm not sure, but I would be positive they're not thrilled. Like probably.
Do they really not expect it? They have to
I
be
wonder.
like,
Because we've been so wishy-washy in the last couple of years with, like, defending our, I don't know. Like, before we would bomb the shit out of somebody with no questions asked. Now we're a little more.
that's good. A little,
it's
a little
good.
restraint goes a long way.
But countries will take advantage of that if they.
I feel like that's kind of what, I don't know if that's what happened here. Like they're
Yeah.
100% pushing. They wanted us to retaliate. That has to be like the only thing that they were trying to get out of this is a retaliation from the U.S.
I wonder why.
to provoking us into another war. I don't know.
That's like what I would guess. I mean, if I had to, I would say that.
And then that like circles back to the beginning of this is why if like
Money, maybe.
what are they getting out of it? Their country would be
The same problem.
if they look at Afghanistan and Iraq, like we fucked those places up. Not like, yeah, we went in as the winners. Like those places, Afghanistan is in ruins. Hundreds of thousands of people are dead.
Mhm.
They're-
Syria, Libya.
Yeah, the Taliban is currently in Kabul running the joint. Corruption is ridiculous. Is that what they want for their country?
Yeah, I don't know. I know there was the argument that, oh, we've never lost to anybody, but like you said earlier, they've never gone up against a powerhouse country like this
Yeah, like they've been in a civil war for a very, very long
since the
time.
90s. 1994 is when the Houthis,
Is that when they started the? Was it a coup?
yeah, like it was overthrow basically a political
So,
movement.
are the
There's
Houth-
political movement?
Are the Houthis similar to Hamas? Because Hamas is not like they were a movement that came to power in Palestine.
Yeah, so
So the Houthis are kind of a
similar.
movement that are
They were military and political. Like it started as a military and political
Mhm.
movement. So I would say, yeah,
so they're very similar.
yeah, with the military, they rose to prominence. But I know that they're allies with Hamas. Like they would be considered an ally.
Yeah, they want to stop Israel and Palestine from killing each other. I mean, that'd be great if they stopped killing each other. You know, I don't want a lot of dead Palestinians. That's not awesome.
No, it doesn't benefit anybody. I know that we don't get affected like personally here, but on a worldwide scale, it doesn't do any good.
No, it doesn't help anybody.
No, it just promotes more death and more war, which we don't need.
The whole Israel-Gaza situation is pretty fucked.
Yeah, it's pretty messed up over there.
It is. I've seen combat footage fairly frequently
Mm-hmm.
So I'm seeing everything that happens a lot that happens in Ukraine, the Gaza Strip, just the amount of buildings that have been destroyed. The place is like leveled. It's like there's almost like nothing left.
And the like terrorist killing, the videos that you see pop up on Twitter and everything, it's brutal. It's like Iraq, like the beheadings and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Like it's just as gory and brutal. Like, how do you? I want to know the mindset that like gets them to believe that what they're doing is acceptable under their God or under their belief system.
It has to be it has to be religious.
I mean, how do you grab somebody by the hair and saw their fucking head off and then say Allah Akbar, whatever the fuck they say, like power to God or whatever? How does that go together? How do they see that as?
I don't know. I really have no idea, like, the correlation there.
It doesn't make sense.
They're fighting the fight for God. I wish I knew. I don't.
It might just be a brainwashed thing, like any religion, but theirs is a more extremist version.
And that's not saying, like, all Muslims are going cutting off heads
No.
or anything, but
The extremists, the terrorists.
yeah.
Like what facilitates that belief system? Because you don't see that here. Like you don't see that extreme. Nobody's going around beheading people in multi-faceted groups.
Yeah, nothing
It's-
nothing to that extent.
I mean, yeah, people hate each other here, but we don't do that. It's not our thing.
I don't know. I have no idea about that. I feel like it's like, what do you even do to stop it? Because if Israel just leaves, do you really think Hamas is just going to stop? Like, they're just going to
No.
chill?
Not at all. I couldn't see them stopping. They're just gonna get motivated.
And they're going to attack probably Israel again.
Yeah.
And then that leads you back to exactly where we're at.
So like, what's the end goal for? Because we're not gonna, like, it's just gonna escalate for everybody. Like, it's not gonna get better before it gets, or it's gonna get worse before it gets better. So I don't know what the goal is here. Like, I know what their goal is, but we're gonna involve ourselves like we do in Ukraine. Like, what happens in Ukraine, Russia? What happens here?
Well, what is their goal to, like, kill all the Jews in Israel?
I mean, that would be ideal for them, I'm guessing.
I
But I don't know if they think that's feasible.
This is what, like, perplexes me about this. I follow some people on, like, social media, and they post a lot about this. And they're very, like, I would say they're not anti-America, but anti-imperialism. They're not fond of America and their past. And that's totally fine. We've done some super fucked up shit and ruined a lot of countries. So I'm for that. But they say, like, stop the genocide in Palestine. But if Israel just leaves, Hamas isn't going to stop. They're going to probably go kill Jews and try and get rid of Israel,
And then
which
grow
is a
in power.
genocide, isn't it?
Yes. Which I think they're being investigated for genocide or whatever.
Israel or
Palestine, I believe. One of them. But somebody's being investigated for genocide. I wonder what that means. Like, if they get convicted of genocide, what does that invoke? I think that invokes some in NATO something, some international law.
I don't think shit'll.
Nothing will
Nothing
happen.
will fucking happen.
No. It's like the fucking Epstein list. Nothing will fucking happen.
I don't know. I'm waiting on that.
You got one round.
Why not all of them? Just bring them all out.
I don't know. Oh, Stephen Hawking. Can't let that go. Gotta mention Stephen Hawking. My man, Stephen Hawking.
Trying, not trying.
he
Midgets.
achieved.
I feel is midgets a slur? Is that a bad one?
Supposedly. But midgets. I still say it. I don't think that no, I feel guilty for saying it.
I've heard little people is also not great.
That sounds worse than midgets. What are you
That sounds
supposed to call
that
them?
sounds a lot worse than that.
Like, I don't know what to call them. Miniature people?
That sounds
That
not
sounds
great
like,
either.
what do you call them? I mean, people, but you have to describe them. I don't dislike them or anything. I'm just, what do you say? You have to identify them by something. All right, midgets. No offense if you're a little person, small person. I think that was a code word for People, I don't know, but people said that was a code word for children.
I wouldn't
What would
be
doubt it? Epstein
surprised.
Island.
Yeah, that's
Why would he have
that's like
minutes?
the place for child sex slave
Yeah.
rooms.
So, bro was watching children solve complex math equations on a too high up chalkboard. It's not funny, but fuck. It's so weird. It's so specific.
Stephen Hawking, of all people.
How do you know you have that fetish? You just sit there in your fucking wheelchair one day and be like, I wonder what it's like to watch children. Like, I don't understand. Is he bricked up? Can he get an erection?
I don't know. I thought he was paralyzed from like.
Is somebody jacking him
Neck
off? Is he
down.
jacking himself off? Is this a computer jack? How the fuck is this biologically possible? And what sick fuck? Why? Why do you do that? Why do you think about this? Who thinks about this in that way? Who thinks about children like that? You're a sicko. It's fucking bullshit.
That's so niche.
I know.
A niche thing.
Like, you can't have a piss fetish? Well, I guess he couldn't because it would fucking short his computer.
Yeah, he would die.
He would die, yeah. All right, Steven, I'll give you that. But, like, like, balloon fetish? Come on. Pop a balloon, fucking have an orgasm. People do that.
That's crazy.
That's also pretty crazy. That'd be hilarious if you had, like, a kid. Imagine being at a kid's birthday party and nobody knows you have a balloon fetish. What's wrong with that guy?
I gotta go.
I gotta go. I got a wet spot in my pants. I peed. Yeah. But anyways, yeah. I just wanted to touch on that because, that's sick, but that's just fucking funny.
Have
Like,
you seen the drone footage of Epstein Island?
No, I haven't seen. I've seen like video on the island, but never drone footage.
It's pretty cool. They go over like the whole island.
Anything?
There's like a large painting of the sun on the ground. It looks kind of like an analog clock, but it's incremented very not normal. It looks very weird. And then there's colorful benches circling the whole thing, and the sun has a face in the center. It looks very like low-key ritualistic.
Yeah. Why are there so many like ritualistic rich people?
I don't know.
Skull of bones.
What is
Roman something Roman.
what was the one
Rome.
thing Alex Jones found?
Bohemian Grove.
Bohemian Grove.
The fuck?
I don't know. That stuff's weird. Is that what you do when you get a lot of money and power?
There has to be like a significance, like I don't want to say satanic, but like what are they? Okay, they're burning an effigy of an owl named Moloch, who I believe is a demonic entity somewhere, some sort of evil entity. And the effigy they're burning is of a child, like they're a fake child, and they're chanting things in costumes. Huh? Like, why?
I've never done that.
I've never thought about doing that. Even if I was rich, like, what's the why? Like, what are you getting out of it?
I don't know.
And was it Nixon?
Yeah, he said it was like the gayest shit he's ever seen.
Yeah. What the
Or
fuck's
I
going
don't
on?
know if
It was one of them.
It was Nixon or
One of them said that.
I think it was
It
Nixon.
was George Washington. Yep.
Big G Dubs.
Big G Dubs was there. 287 years old, just fucking walking around, bricked up. Like, why are they all weird? You think that if you're born weird enough, you become rich by virtue? Because some of those fuckers, like, you know what I mean? Like, you gotta be out there.
I wonder if they started off weird.
That's what I'm saying.
Like if people knew them growing up, they're like, yeah, that Nixon guy was fucking strange.
Like Benjamin Franklin was a freak.
Yeah, he was weird.
Yeah, he had like fucking 30 people orgies.
Well, was he like rich?
Yeah, by those standards, I would consider him.
Okay.
Well, he had money.
Well off.
Then he have they found bones in like underneath of his house.
Yeah.
What?
He was probably like on some John Wayne Gacy shit.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
he
people
he
have thought
seems
about
like
that.
a weird fucking dude.
Yeah. Like, what the fuck is going on here? I don't understand. But yeah, I don't like with the we're getting all over the place here. We were talking about Yemen. That's important. Oh, okay. Let's get back on track here.
I do want to get back to the Epstein stuff though.
Okay.
And the weird ass.
Which one do you want to go for right now?
I don't know. I think I had this fucking thing I saw on Reddit. In San Francisco, everyone was cheering and super fucking happy. They were going crazy. They're like, yeah, we did it. We did it. And I guess they passed something or voted to have a ceasefire in Israel and Gaza. They voted on this in San Francisco. Does that make sense? Like, congratulations, you guys all agree that there should be a ceasefire.
What do they think they were gonna do?
What effect could you possibly have on that situation in fucking San Francisco?
You know what they should do? They should go down there and see if they get shot or not.
Yeah,
See what
like,
happens.
guys, we support a ceasefire. Like,
Yeah.
why are you shooting at
Just
us?
scream, "I'm Jewish," and see what happens.
Yeah, or scream, I'm Jewish, I'm Muslim. Who shoots at you first?
Guys, I'm gonna ask you to stop. We did vote for a ceasefire in San Francisco. Fuck off.
I thought that was the funniest fucking thing.
I saw. I didn't know that's what it was, but I know the video you're talking about where she
They're
got
like-
a mask on and they're jumping
They're
up and down.
going crazy.
Yeah, they're having a hoot and a holler. To shindig. They're vibing.
You know, if we vote right now to have world peace, you know, that'd be great.
I mean, it better fucking happen. All right, do you vote for world peace?
I
yes
vote
or no?
for world peace.
I vote for world peace.
We did. We fucking did it.
You're welcome.
Here in Canton, Ohio.
You're welcome.
We voted for world peace.
Yep. I want something erected in my name. I always wanted something to be erected in my name. So build me a statue with a 12-inch wiener on it, please. Thank you.
You just go build one in the woods.
I could. And then I could worship it, set it on fire and worship it.
Then you might get elected to office.
You're right. I'll invite Joe Biden out there, Donald Trump, and we'll have
You
time.
gotta have a good time.
They'll mend fences.
I wonder if those guys went to Bohemian Grove.
I don't know.
Do you think they still do it?
No, I think that they stopped doing it not that long ago. Because I remember, I just reading about this like a week ago. I watched the Alex Jones. Oh, was it the Rothschild? He interviewed somebody and asked
Was it
him
his
about-
old documentary?
I'm not sure. It was a clip on YouTube I saw of him asking about Bohemian Grove, and he's like, I snuck on the island, and the guy's like, well, I very much disrespect you for that, Mr. Jones.
Oh, I think I've seen
He's
that.
a real
I've
old
seen
dude.
it. Yeah.
And I think they mentioned that video that they didn't do it anymore, but I don't know.
I wonder what else they're doing because you don't just stop that.
Well, that's not the only,
You
like,
migrate
yeah.
it, you move it, you give it a new name.
Like, it wasn't legally shut down or anything. Like, well, I wonder why they stopped. If they stopped it, why did they stop?
Maybe it got too much attention.
And it did.
Too many people knew about it.
Mm-hmm.
They said, "Oh, guys, we gotta pack up. We gotta move somewhere else."
Mm-hmm. I remember, I think I touched on this in the last podcast, was like back in 2010 when I first learned about Bohemian Grove, the information was everywhere, and then it disappeared. Like 3 or 4 years ago, I remember looking it up, and none of the Alex Jones videos or anything, not even Alex Jones, were like anywhere to be found.
Probably wanted to scrub it.
Yeah, it seemed like they totally scrubbed it.
It's a pain in the ass to move locations. You gotta let
Yeah.
everyone know.
Like, hey guys, we're moving the fucking weird sex cult somewhere else.
We're gonna have to burn the owl somewhere else, fellas.
Sorry. I don't know. I know that there are a lot of very popular rich people cults. I'm not like Skull and Bones. I'm not familiar with like what that is, but I know that that's another big one that's similar. That's ritualistic.
I don't know anything about Skull and Bones. I've
There's
heard the name.
that, and there's I forget the other one.
Epstein Island, apparently. That's a rich people thing.
Do you think they did like ritual shit there? Like you're saying, it looked like they
It,
do.
it was
shit.
fucking weird. The sun thing was very strange. It was
Where-
like a large sundial
That's there
that
for a
looked like
reason.
a clock with colorful benches all around it, all of different colors.
It's totally there for a reason.
It was weird. It was very weird.
Where now I've seen like videos of Epstein Island, but I've never seen like the inside. This was a massive operation. Like where do they house these children?
Supposedly there are underground like
That's what I
tunnels and
was wondering.
rooms. Supposedly, the only real buildings I've seen on the island is there's a not big by any standards
I know the
cube-looking thing.
blue and like
Yeah, like the blue
white stripes.
gold. Yeah, that thing. There's maybe some other structures, but nothing significantly big that looks like it would house a massive sex ring operation.
So like say you get there, you take like an elevator down to like a sex chamber, like
Maybe.
well there has to be like fancy shit there. Like it has to be welcoming, like you think to like a so say because a lot of these people didn't visit for the children. So they would go there and they would like see a small building, like you know what I mean? Like I'd be like, why am I here?
What do you got going on here, Mr. Epstein?
Yeah, like I don't understand like how I wonder how big it was under there and like what else they had. Did they have like a whole ass dining hall? And I'm just curious. I've never seen like. Is there footage of the inside?
Not that I know of. I've never really
Why?
looked too much. I did see this one short that popped up. I can't say this was true or anything. It was just there. Of supposedly like, it looked like a bunch of little kids, little girls, in like mildly skimpy outfits. Actually, I'm gonna see if I can find it real quick.
Yeah, I'm interested.
I didn't watch it.
Everything we say is speculative here. Disclaimer.
Epstein Island drone. It was in the shorts tab.
So I know they had the painting of Clinton in a dress. I don't know if that was at Epstein's house or if it was at the island.
That's weird.
You see that one, the painting? Oh, I gotta show you that. You find that, I'll find that.
I can't find that video. The thumbnail was, they were in like white gowns. Like there was a top, stomachs were exposed. There was a skirt, and it looked like there was like gold in the outfit as well. They maybe had like trays, and the place looked like it was built out of concrete.
Yeah, bizarre.
I don't know. I can't find the short anymore.
This was in Epstein's home.
Bill Clinton in a blue dress with red heels.
And then I think there was a picture. I'll show you. You see the George Bush one?
Was it in Epstein's home too?
I believe so. Don't quote me on it. He's throwing a paper plane at 2 Jenga towers.
Bush did
Isn't that
9/11.
fucking
Bush
crazy?
did 9/11.
I just wonder.
Why won't it give me the shorts tab for this?
Bush did 7-Eleven.
Bush is 7/11. That's
Bush
top
went to
news.
7-Eleven.
Yeah, I cannot find it.
That's bullshit, Anthony. I was curious.
I was curious. I should have fucking watched it.
Yeah. But yeah, who knows? Some weird shit's going on, man. Like this last, what do you say, like 3 years since the pandemic, like people lost their mind. Like, everything's been exposed, gone haywire. It's just
When
been
did
weird.
the Epstein stuff come out? What year was that?
19.
2019.
But I don't think people took it as seriously as they do now.
Because it sounds like it's fake. It
Yeah.
sounds like something that you're like, okay, this is movie level shit.
Yeah, it's bizarre, but I hate to go back. Alex Jones fucking told everybody about this 20 years before it was released. He was on camera screaming there's a fucking sex island, wherever the fuck it was, and nobody believed him. Like, who told him that? Like, you know what I mean? Who's his sources? I'm just curious, like, who's telling him this information? Because some of it's real, and it's, like, legit. Like, he predicted, he knew this, and nobody was there, but like, you're fucking crazy, you're nuts. How did he know?
I don't know. I wish I knew. I don't know. I don't know if I want to know it. I don't want to know everything he knows.
No.
That's probably why he's crazy as fuck.
Yeah. A lot of people think that he's a psyop, like, I've read that theory. Like the CIA, like he's put there, but you never know.
If he was a psyop, why would
Like
they give him
intelligence.
like actual information?
That's a good point. I don't know. I don't really believe it. I just thought that was an interesting take because he's so outspoken and he says such like damning things that turn out to be real. Like you think they would have silenced him. I mean, they've tried, but you think they just fucking kill him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they've done to others. Like why do they let him?
I feel like
walk
once
around?
you get to a certain level, you can't just be offed. If you were, if
Martin
I,
Luther King, yeah, Kennedy.
okay, maybe like they learned their lesson in the 60s. They're like,
Possibly.
oh fuck, like guys, they're too big.
Do they
We're
even
gonna have to do
care?
something else.
Like say we all like knew, we were like, yeah, like we know you guys did this.
Well, everyone
Look,
does know. No one gives
yeah,
a fuck.
be like nobody cares. Like nobody cares. Like they don't give a fuck. We don't really. I mean, we care, but like we don't do anything. Like it's not a big deal. Like I mean, it's a big deal, but nothing happens.
Maybe people will vote on it in San Francisco and say the FBI is bad.
And Kennedy will come back to life.
Yeah.
Dude, fuck yeah. Dude, why are
Thanks,
we
San-
over here
thanks, San
talking? We should be in
Francisco.
San Francisco voting. Yeah, we got to keep an eye on that.
I was just looking over it. I'm like,
Sorry.
sure, it's still moving.
All right. But yeah, is there anything else you want to touch on with the Epstein thing?
Why? So supposedly we were supposed to get a lot more names this year. They've really only released like Stephen Hawking. Why?
That was
why,
worth that first batch, though.
If this is such a big deal, why are they not just dropping the info?
I don't know. And like it's there.
Yeah, they have all the fucking
The judges.
papers, the names.
Yeah.
I think they're redacting some of those names.
Like they're going over it and being like, eh.
I'm just black this one out in Sharpie.
And they're giving like secret names to some of them too. Like you see like John Doe, Jane Doe, like 136, 176, and that's like Bill Clinton or whoever else.
That's suspicious as fuck.
Yeah, it's weird. And Bill Gates, I want to hear more about Bill Gates. Bill Gates was a fucking. I'm gonna put it out there. Bill Gates is a fucker. I swear to God, he's fucking children. I'm gonna make that accusation. He went there 18 fucking times. His wife on camera said that Epstein was a big reason for why she divorced him. His relationship with Epstein played a part in their divorce. In an interview on 60 Minutes, I believe.
That's crazy. What could you...
He's weird as fuck.
Maybe they were just good pals, and he liked to go... They went to the island, they...
Played fucking chess and...
Yeah, they did some fishing,
Yeah.
drank some brews,
Yeah.
just chilled. Like, if you have an island...
What kind of beer do you think they would drink?
Modelo.
Do you think of Manila?
Modelo.
Yeah.
You're on Little St. James.
Yeah, Modelo does sound accurate here. I feel like Bill Gates drinks beer with his pinky out. Think like... Jeffrey.
I feel like he doesn't drink beer.
Well, if he did.
I feel like he drinks seltzer
Drinks
water.
the blood of fucking children.
And, yeah.
Sick fuck. Bill Gates is weird. Okay, so not only that, but like he's buying mass farmland, which I guess from a business perspective is a good decision, but he's also promoting fuck, how do I word this? He's promoting like getting rid of like natural beef and
He wants to go...
not vegan. He wants to create like lab grown meat.
Okay.
He wants that to be the new norm. No. No, we're not designed to eat that stuff. Like we're not biologically equipped to properly handle that. We're not made for it. And that's just stupid. Why the fuck do you want? And bug protein. He wants us to live off of bug protein.
There's like not even that many bugs anymore.
Yeah, where the fuck do they go?
We're killing them all.
Yeah, that's insane too. Like I saw that somebody mentioned that. Like I remember when I was younger, there were bugs everywhere. Like on your car in the windshield, it'd be covered in bugs.
Yeah. When I would drive down like State Route 30, even just a couple years ago, my car was covered in dead bugs. Now it's not anymore at all.
And I got stung by like 6 bees when I was younger, and I haven't gotten stung in like 15 years.
Yeah, because there's no more fucking bugs. They're all dying.
From what? Just
Urbanization.
the chemicals in the soil and plants and.
I'm gonna Google it real quick. Just do a quick little Google.
And is there any data like to back that up? Like they're disappearing because it feels
I'm
like.
assuming there is. What is killing all the bugs? The world's insect population is in decline, and that's bad news for humans. Why are the bugs dying? Amid deforestation, pesticide use, artificial light pollution, and climate change. So a multitude of reasons.
Yeah. I mean, I guess even a half of a degree would impact them with like climate change
Yeah.
to a severe extent.
It's just crazy how little there actually are anymore, or at least that I see.
Yeah. Which, hey, not a big bug fan. So I know it's bad
I'm not
for the environment.
Not like I don't want them like crawling on me and fucking with me, but
bugs are creepy.
you need them though. They're part of the environment, the biodiversity.
Yeah. But they're funny looking.
They're funny looking. They think you're funny looking.
Well, they probably do. But they hurt. They hurt when they bite and sting.
Not all of them bite.
Dude, fucking ants bite.
Yeah, ants can be dicks.
I didn't know that until like a year ago that ants can bite.
Oh yeah.
I used to. Oh, then I was a weird child. I kind of psychopathic if you think about it.
Kill murdering ants.
So I was probably 5 years old and I didn't have a moral compass, so give me that. I would get it on like say it was like 90 degrees out. I would go in my freezer, I would get an ice cube out, and I would fucking this is gonna sound so bad.
I'm curious.
I was 5 years old. I would get an ice cube or like water, and I would dump it on the cement outside where I knew there was a lot of ants, and they would all come fucking running, like marching. No, we're gonna drink some water. They didn't know that fucking Genghis Khan of the ants was lurking in the shadows. I was just a bad person. Okay, I ate the ants.
You ate them?
I ate fucking ants when I was like 5 or 6 years old, and I got grounded for it like 10 times. I don't know why.
Why
I
is
know.
my son eating these fucking ants?
I got in so much trouble. I was like, don't eat the ants, Kyle. I was like, but they taste good. That's all I can remember saying. Was like, they taste like, I remember saying they taste like grass. Anyways, there's something wrong with me. There still is, but oh my God. I would lure them out of their fucking hiding hole, and I would go to town like fucking making ant soup with I'd fucking squishing the fuck out of like 1,000 of these fuckers, dude. And looking back on it, like, what was wrong with me?
I mean, at least you can look back and be like, man, that was fucked.
That was evil. Like I feel like I should mourn these ants. Like, I say prayer for them every night.
Damn, dude, rip those ants that I
Like,
absolutely slaughtered.
Rest in peace, dog. Like, I had to kill at least like I'm a mass murderer.
I didn't. What I used to do is I had a hold of firecrackers over the summer just because it was around 4th of July. I would have extra firecrackers.
Was it like the snappers?
No,
Actual
the light the fuse firecrackers. What I would do is catch lightning bugs, put them in a jar, and then light a firecracker and drop it in the jar.
You're just like me.
And I was
You're
fucking
fucked.
exploding these fireflies.
It was a quick death.
Yeah, but that's fucked. That's crazy weird.
But a lot of people would take them and like smear them.
Yeah,
And like draw with them.
because they glow.
I never heard of firefly. I can see it now better than you now because I kill ants. You kill fireflies, and that's fucked.
I know the fireflies are cool, and I don't see
Fireflies
them
are cool.
anymore.
Yeah, no, those are my favorite.
Dude, they used to be in like I would go out at night in the summer in my front yard, and you could see pretty far because all my neighbors' houses we didn't have fences or anything. You could see pretty far down. There's always gling, 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 glimmering fireflies. I just don't see them anymore. The only place I've seen them like this year, it's right around here. There's by the FedEx building in the airport. There's a long road that kind of curves and it goes straight.
I don't know.
You know where we went go karting?
Oh yeah.
It's down back there.
Oh okay.
It's like a big field. I see a lot of animals actually. I've seen turkeys, deer, fox, fireflies, bats, all the shit. That's the only place I've ever seen them.
You think it's partly because we just don't pay attention or like go outside as much as when we were young? I mean, I'm sure they're in decline, but
That's probably a little bit of
I can't remember the last time I like went outside and like deliberately was like, where is
just
the
hanging out
fireflies?
outside.
Yeah, like that sounds so bad. Like that's not good.
I know. I like being outside.
We need to touch grass.
I do. Luckily, I have I'll take my dog out.
Yeah, take mine on a walk. Oh, he does not run.
He doesn't like to run.
Hates running. I try to run like 3 times a week now around the blocks, and man, he just does not like it.
He's like, dude, can we just walk?
Yeah, he'll do it for like a third of the block, and then he'll stop. And I look so stupid.
It's like
I'm
I'm trying to be better. Be better with me.
I'm like having like a pep talk with him, and like the neighbors can see me, and like I'm over here like, come on, dude, we got this. We're gonna run. I gotta teach you how to run. Let's go. Come on, let's go. And I take off, and like 5 seconds later, he's like, fuck you,
I'm good.
dog. Like, come on, let me smell some shit. So, but yeah, I don't know. World's fucked. The Epstein Island stuff is fucked. Everything's like just
Everything is fucked. It's.
Why can't we be like normal, like species?
I wish I was as naive as I was when I was younger.
Because we were happier.
I didn't pay attention to any of this shit.
Yeah.
Like the world was still fucked when I was 10 years old.
But it didn't like register.
Yeah, I just didn't learn about it.
Yeah. Do you think that people that have more of a like I don't know, like a better upbringing where they believe in Santa Claus, the Tooth Fairy, the world's magic, Disney movies, like they're outside playing, do you think they're more susceptible to like depression when they get older, when reality hits them? Like when they're in that cubicle, how does that, when they're typing away on their computer in their cubicle, how does that feel like okay? You know what I mean? Like
I mean, that makes sense if you grow up in such like a positive atmosphere and then one day you discover this thing called Reddit and you get on and you see the news subreddits saying 200 people killed in Israel or thousands of Palestinian women and children bombed and killed. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it changes your brain.
You're like, this is new. This is crazy. The world is terrible. And then you realize it's always been terrible.
And it's even worse than you think.
Yeah, and you're like, well, when I was younger playing with Hot Wheels, people were fucking dying.
Do you think maybe, I don't know, maybe educating children in an intelligent way about evil would be important for their development, like that they need to know about these things? I mean, I know we we have like the DARE programs, but
Dare didn't do shit, but
it doesn't do anything.
I think part of the issue with that would be bias. Because you could have one person who's like super pro. Well, we'll keep jumping back to the Israel Gaza stuff because that's a hot topic right now. You could have one family raising their kids saying, Gaza's bad. The Muslims are killing people. And then the other family could say, Israel's bad. The Jews are killing people. And then they end up hating those people. That could totally be a side effect of that.
So then you just
I don't think they would really develop sympathy because if they're fed one thing, they're like,
bro, they don't have sympathy as it is.
well, no,
Not all of them, but the things that they can do is just like you can't have empathy if you're doing that.
No. And they'll grow up and they'll probably be like, well, why are the Muslims killing people? And then the other person will grow up and say, well, why are the Jews killing people?
Yeah, I agree. We have a serious lack of empathy problem for people in positions of power because the problem is the system's broken. Those types of individuals are attracted to those positions, and they're also good leaders. They portray as a good leader. So I don't know. I think that how is it going to get fixed if nobody here has a moral compass? Like everybody's borderline sociopathic. Just it's all like me. I want more money. I want more power.
Well, luckily, like history is a good gauge of human development. We've seen some completely heinous shit in the past, and a lot of that is now considered just not okay. So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a very long time, if it even happens, that people are like, hey, maybe we shouldn't be killing each other based on our beliefs. I don't know when that happens. I don't know if that happens.
Well, I mean, religion is shrinking overall. Like the belief in a higher power of religion, percent-wise, is going down in the world. In certain countries, it's going down way more than others. But
Yo, tinfoil hat theory. I
like tinfoil hat theory.
Just brewed this up, hot off the press. Aliens, right? A lot of this stuff is coming out now, and supposedly, I think we talked about this last week or last time we were in here. Was Jimmy Carter was told about the aliens? I was told or read that he's a very religious man, and he broke down crying when he learned about aliens and UFOs. And let's say that he learned that there is no God, like the aliens have done all this stuff, and maybe the government is so adamant on not letting this get released because if people figure that out, they stop believing in religion. And religion, we've seen plenty of times, drives wars, and wars make lots of money.
Yeah, that's a man.
So if the aliens get out, then Raytheon, Boeing, BlackRock, Vanguard, all these companies stop making so much money because people are like, I guess the thing is bullshit and aliens created us, so why are we fighting over this fake thing?
Yeah.
Now you can take your tinfoil hat off now.
I don't think that's a tinfoil hat theory. I think that
it's far-fetched for sure.
Possible. Like, it's plausible. I mean, crazier shit's been thought of, turned out to be true.
Yeah, like there was a child sex ring where people in high positions of power were manipulated.
Yeah.
That's real.
I don't know, man. I just, I think that it could be money for sure. That's possible. Like I don't want to talk about aliens and shit. Because you mentioned that, like the Bob Lazar video I sent you, that touched on that. Mm-hmm. Remember how he said, like, he read a pamphlet or a book that they said that, or he said that, basically religion was created by aliens and we are containers for souls, was his way of putting it. So, fuck. If that has any like backing, if that's actually partly true, that's insane. But like, kind of like awesome.
You and me, we're not very religious, right? So do you think if all the shit, say tomorrow all the shit comes out and they're like, yeah, it's aliens, guys, it's all aliens, there's no religion, they did all this stuff. Do you think that would affect you in any way? Would you feel different, or would you change the way you do things?
No, I wouldn't say I would change the way I do things, but it's hard to say because existentially that would have an impact on your mind. Like, how could it not? Like, yeah, aliens are real and we're just a container for them to house, like, whatever they want from us.
You guys are really just here to, I don't know, be an experiment.
I think that, yeah, I think that would, because you'd almost feel like this is pointless, I guess. Like, say, yeah, like we're like, I don't know, we're like a animal to them. So, like, they're the important ones and we're like the worthless, like, experiment. You know what I mean? Like, maybe they live to 20,000 and here we are dying after 7 years of fucking cancer.
Yeah, they're like, man, what the fuck?
Like, what's the point? What's the purpose? Dude, being alive is so interesting.
It's weird. Having a consciousness is interesting.
It's insane. Nobody knows how this works.
That's the crazy part. And no, there's no way you really can know how it works.
No.
Because it's not like you can bring someone back from the dead.
Yeah, and then, like, you get the after-death stories of people that came back.
I think those are all bullshit.
Yeah, because
I think every
you
single one
weren't
of those is
dead.
bullshit.
You were brought back to life. You weren't brain dead. You were your heart stopped beating.
Yeah, if your heart stops, you're considered dead, right?
Yeah. Like I say, like, what was life like before you were born? That's probably what death is like.
That's kind of how I see it too.
That's insane. I wasn't born at one point. Like, what?
Like,
I didn't exist. But I did. I was particle somewhere in the fucking universe. Oops. What the fuck does that mean? It scared me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, particles or energy cannot be destroyed or created in our universe. We're good.
No, I'm a fucking idiot.
Why?
I didn't hit the record button on the camera.
Damn it.
It's all right. I'll just go hit it now and be like, hey guys, now we have video. Sorry, I'm a fucking idiot.
Tell him to imagine the last hour. Just make something up.
I just looked over my whole.
Hey, you know, at least we noticed it.
Hey guys, welcome to the Stuck at the Airport podcast. This is Anthony. I'm a fucking idiot and did not hit the record button for the last 57 minutes, 27 seconds.
At least we noticed it.
But the audio is there, so you can listen.
Oh, the audio's there. That's
Yeah,
good.
the audio's there. You just
Okay.
can't watch. Now
Yeah.
you can watch.
Watching is the fun part. Because we're funny looking. And that's fun. But anyways,
Next week we'll get it for sure, I swear.
we said this last week.
I think I've ironed out, like, all of the kinks. The last kink is my fucking dumb ass.
If it was me in charge of this stuff, I would do this.
There'd be no hiccups. It would all be just smooth
I don't
flowing.
know about that. I think something would happen by now. What were we talking about?
Aliens being a container, you being container for the aliens.
Yeah. Let me get my thoughts here.
Yeah, no, I kind of have to gather. Oh, death. Life after death. You are nothing before you are born.
Oh, yeah,
well, you're
yeah,
particles.
yeah.
You're somewhere.
So, well, they have the audio. They know. Yeah, so before you're born, you didn't exist, but you still existed until the particles in the universe arranged in a particular manner to create Anthony Luby and Kyle Powell. Like, what? Excuse me.
Welcome.
At what point do we become conscious? Like, when do they coalesce into I'm alive moment? That's bizarre. This is so fucking weird.
I wish, like, our brain kept memories from when we were babies.
Like, yeah, like from like birth.
Yeah, I want to know.
But we're like a blank slate, and our environment and our DNA shape our conscious mind.
What? Oh, you know what's crazy to think about? When you are a baby and you're firstborn, like, you can hear, even say you're like a week old, you can hear, you can see, you can touch.
I think it takes a couple months to see for the baby.
I don't think so.
I thought it took like a month. Anyway,
Either way, vision aside, this is more focused on the hearing aspect. What the fuck is your internal monologue? Do you even have one?
no, you're just like a fucking pile of goo.
You don't know whatever language you learn or your country speaks. You don't know it, so you can't think like, what are all these people doing here? Who is this person holding me?
So you're basically like any other animal, like a dog or a. The fuck's a dog's inner monologue?
I don't know. Do they have an inner monologue? Do babies have inner monologues? Do you develop?
How do babies think? Is it?
Yeah.
It can't be images.
Maybe it can't be dialogue.
Okay, so you know how some people like you don't have an inner monologue.
I have an inner monologue.
No, he doesn't.
I'm always thinking
He
about
doesn't have it.
things.
He can say that, but he doesn't. Do you think that like maybe some children don't develop the inner monologue from birth, like they never had it and they never developed the way, like the ability to. Okay,
Maybe.
we should probably preface like what we mean in case people don't know. Like some people cannot think silently inside of their head with words. Like they can't say inside their head, I wonder what I'm going to eat for dinner tomorrow. They picture it. That's insane. So like, what went wrong with you who doesn't have a monologue? Let's hear from the man himself.
I don't think in picture. I think in word. I think in my language. Okay, that's fine. It's whatever.
Yeah, it was it.
It was just a little notif. Thanks, Microsoft.
Oh.
I think in my words, if I see something, I'm like, well, what the fuck is that? That thing is weird. Or I'm like, I need to go to the store after the gym and pick up some beans.
But how do people that don't have an inner monologue have critical thought? Do they have to say it out loud? But I don't know.
I think at work, you remember Corey?
More muscular dude?
Yeah, taller.
Yeah.
I think he did not have an inner monologue. I'm almost positive he didn't. I remember Dom was talking about it, and Corey's like, yeah, no, I don't think like that. I don't have words in my head.
I need to ask him questions.
I got him on Facebook. I might shoot him a message. Say, Corey, what the fuck do you think about? How do you think? How do you do something without thinking about it first? I know there's like impulse reactions.
What like a math problem?
Yeah, like when I see a math problem, like let's say a long division or a long multiplication problem, like 156 times 282. I'm like, okay, so this number times this equals this. Carry the leftover, put it down here, carry, cross, and I do that. What do other people? What do you fucking think about if you're doing that? Are you just like
They're picturing the numbers moving?
4?
I don't fucking know. That's weird.
It is weird, and it's one of those incomprehensible things that I can't wrap my head around.
We need to like find somebody that doesn't have an inner monologue and ask them.
Yeah, and run tests on
I'm
them.
so curious. How do you work? How does anything happen?
How do you think about what you're going to do for the day?
In pictures, I guess. But like, do they see like a picture book, like sequence?
I don't know, like, say at work, I'm like, okay, I have to go home. I have to go to the gym. I have to edit a podcast. Do they think like picture of home, picture of gym?
And is it like a children's coloring book?
Yeah, I don't know.
That'd be kind of based.
It'd be really hard to decipher.
I want to think in a Dr. Seuss book.
1 fish, 2 fish, red fish, blue fish.
Here I go to the gym, and I don't know. I can't rhyme with fucking. I don't know what rhymes with fish. What rhymes with fish? Wish.
Dish. Once I eat my dish, I will go
and
cook
eat my
fish.
And cook a fish, and then I will make a wish that my. The fuck else rhymes with it?
I don't know. Too many rhymes.
This is poetry
A,
in
B,
motion.
B, A, B, A, B.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything else. Anyways, what were we talking about?
Thought
People.
process.
People. Yeah. It's just weird to think about. But like that's common. That's not like a 1% of the population doesn't have inner monologue. It's more common than not.
I'm gonna ask a lot of
Not
people.
more common than not. Yeah.
Like,
But
hey,
do you think they know? Like, do you think like people that don't have one all know?
Maybe if you ask them and say, like, hey, do you think in words?
What do you mean?
Or do you think in pictures? Or what are you thinking? Like, if you need to go home,
I wonder
what
if
do you
Tim
tell
has.
yourself?
Because Tim talks. You ever hear Tim like talking out loud, like when he's alone?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Hi, Tim, if you're watching. Like like sometimes if he doesn't know like I'm around or whatever, like he'll be on like the forklift and say he's like upset about something like fucking motherfucker, like you know what I mean? Like does he?
I mean,
Ask
I
him.
talk to myself sometimes.
Yeah, but and Andrew,
Did he a
remember him?
lot? Did he have an inner monologue?
Oh yeah, I hope. But like he would be on a machine. I remember, and I would always make fun of him for it. Like if nobody was around, like he would have like a full conversation with nothing. Like he'd be
I've
over
never
there.
done that. I've never had a full conversation with
He would be
myself.
like,
But
I'm
it's
just
like
like,
I'm
I'm
schizo.
like, dude, what are you doing? He's like, what do you mean? Like, you're over here like arguing with like a ghost. He's like,
Yeah,
that's how I do it. That's what happens. I was like,
just what I do.
what? I don't do that. Like, I don't. That's not normal. I don't think. But maybe just that's how he thought out loud. I don't know. People are weird.
I want to know more about people.
Let's run some like Joseph Mengele experiments. Well, with you and Al.
Yeah, we are twins. Let's just
So
Alex
you guys
told me.
together.
We'll hook him up to a thing and scan his brain. I don't know.
You guys can share each other's blood.
Yeah.
There's we're learning about like longevity and like extending your lifespan and everything. Did I tell you about that guy I was watching, Brian Johnson?
No.
He's considered like a biohacker and the most measured man in the world. He's the one that bought Venmo and sold it for $800 million. He is like a real life experiment. He has a team of like he spends like millions of dollars a year. He has a team of like 15 to 20 doctors at his house, and he takes 100 supplements a day.
Jesus Christ.
He does red light therapy, so it's like for skin. He eats everything before 11 o'clock. Like he's
AM.
a.m. His
Like all-
meals, he's done. He has a 16-hour fast every day, and he sleeps perfect. He has a perfect sleep score, so like they track his sleep, and he has a 17-year-old son who he had donate his plasma to himself. So he took his 17-year-old son's plasma and put it in his own body, and then put his plasma in his father's body as like an anti-aging thing. Like he's borderline crazy.
That does sound crazy.
But if you see a picture of him when he was 34 years old, he's 46, and you look at him now, bro's doing something.
They look exactly the same.
No, he looks way different. I'll show you a picture.
Better?
Yeah, he looks way better. But I've been on that like health kick lately. So like I don't know, it's just fascinating. That's like the extreme version of it. Like my man is like doesn't go out in the sun when like
UV rays are particularly
yeah.
bad that day.
The air quality has to be in. He lives in California. Air quality has to be in a certain range. He's insane.
I wonder what he can or is going to attempt to do. Say, like, a certain type of cancer is prevalent in his family tree. I wonder if he can do anything to
I wonder.
prevent that.
He's extremely healthy, and he has no plastic surgery that I know of, or makeup. So this is just that's 34 and 46. His skin looks a lot better,
His skin looks a lot better.
and his face looks a lot. He does have like a death face.
Let me
But that
see it
way-
one more time.
There's another one. Well, you can see he's aged, but his skin looks a lot. He looks healthier.
What they should do is take those pictures in like the same lighting. Or obviously they can't do
Yeah.
that now. That was over 10 years ago, but or try and find one with similar lighting and recreate the picture.
He has so they have like biological ages. So like they'll measure. I don't know how they do it. They're doctors. They can measure like you age differently. Like your heart ages at a different rate than your liver. Your liver ages at a different rate than your skin. Your skin ages at a different rate than your brain. You know, if some people have like the brain of like an 80-year-old,
Yeah.
like Chris Benoit, when they took after he did what he did, I think his brain was equivalent to like an 83-year-old or some crazy shit. But yeah, I think his biological age, he lowered his biological age 5 years by 5 years in 7 months, which is a record. So he's
Is he on? Does he use stem cells?
I think that he does.
I've heard a lot about stem cells and anti-aging and
It's like the fountain of youth.
yeah.
I wonder if in our lifetime we'll extend like the lifespan by a significant amount. And if we do, how much will it cost and will it be given to the public?
When you get into things like that, I think about like something cyberpunk-esque. Like the wealthy have these bionic bodies and the poor people are still poor and just live in shit slums. That's kind of where it makes me think.
So it'll just be like more of a divide, like
Yeah.
everything else. Yeah, like here's a biological arm that costs like $500,000.
Yeah.
Oh, you're poor, you can't have it.
Or hey,
Oh.
here's this implant thing that will extend your life by 200 years. It's
Right.
$1 million.
Imagine a goon sesh with a biological arm.
It would never. You could have the longest goon session. Then you'd break a Guinness World Record.
I'm gonna start saving my money.
You got to say $500K for that biological arm.
I'm gonna set it on fire. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I get it. I think I don't know. It does fascinate me because we do have such a short lifespan. Like if you think about it, we're a flash in the pan. Like 75 years, 80 years for a male is nothing. We've already lived almost a third of our lives. That's crazy.
I know.
And like our prime physically will be over in like 5-6 years.
What is like the age prime for males?
Early 20s to like 30ish, 31. It's like 21.
We were talking the other day at work, and like, do you remember the last time you had a full out dead sprint?
I do it all the time.
You do?
Yeah.
That's good.
I'm fat. I just took a speed measurement in the last like 3 weeks. I went from 15.7 miles an hour to 16.8 miles an hour.
Because me, Alex, and Dennison were like, I mean, I remember the last time I full out sprinted.
Yeah, I know it's definitely weird.
It was in like June.
Yeah, like most people, like that's just abnormal for.
Yeah, it's like after high school or college, they just don't.
Personally, I just don't want to. I've heard people. Actually, that's what inspired me to start doing it, because I don't want to lose that ability ever. I want to feel as good as I can for as long as I can.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I don't want to get in, not even just situation wise, just I want to be able to continue to be healthy, move without pain for a very long time.
Because like we see the people that we work with, and just older people in general, who are like they're miserable. They're in so much pain. Like they can't bend down. They have arthritis. You know, there's so many things that they have.
I don't get how people can just like let themselves go.
I know.
That's so mind-boggling to me.
They just don't. I just feel like they're ignorant. Like they don't have the knowledge to.
Some people say they're like, well, I don't care. I don't have anyone to impress. I'm like,
Yeah, but they feel like shit.
yeah.
Like,
Like, what do you mean you don't have to
What about
impress
yourself?
anybody?
impress yourself.
You can just look good for yourself.
Feel
good.
Mm-hmm.
You can wake up not feeling like shit.
I get like not angry, but I'm like, oh, like really? Like I see like overweight people or just unhealthy people who always complain about like, man, I always feel like crap. I'm in so much pain, and they got a Mountain Dew in their hand and a fucking honey bun in the other hand, and they got pizza for like lunch or whatever or dinner.
Yeah.
I'm just like why do you think you feel like that? Like you have inflammation from that. Your sodium intake is way too high. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's just like there's so many things you could do today to help you tomorrow, and it would be so easy in theory. I know it's hard to kick cravings, but in theory, not getting pizza is not hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's very easy.
Just don't get pizza.
Another, like, if I eat, I know what foods make me feel like shit. I know it. Like,
Panda Express fucking ruins my life, but it's so good.
It tastes great.
Yes.
And a lot of people use that as an argument. They're like, well, I want to be happy and eat what I want. I'm like, well, I think you would probably be a lot happier if you didn't feel like shit. Like if you know something makes you feel bad, but you like eating it. I love Taco Bell. I like Sheets. But they make me feel like dog shit. I'd rather not feel like shit.
Not in the moment though.
In the moment, they're fucking amazing.
I'm in bliss.
They're so good.
At the end, okay, you're right though.
But it's the after effect
Post nut clarity.
Yeah, that sucks. You're like, oh, Jesus Christ, dude, what did I just eat?
Hmm.
Or if I drink too much, I'm like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
My entire day after is like ruined.
Yeah, and what you say about like they want to be happy, so that like you'll hear the argument like, I eat like this because I don't want to. I want to be happy and eat what I want because it makes me feel good. But they don't realize that the reason that they feel good from it is the fructose corn syrup.
Fucking sugar addiction.
Sugar. They're creating neurological pathways in their brain that when they eat this lead to a pleasure release. So they're craving the pleasure release from the carbs, the sugar, the fructose corn syrup, and other shit. So they've literally trained their brain to feel good when eating this. But you ask somebody that eats extremely healthy, well, like say somebody's really strict about their diet. Like you ask them, well, would you want like a pizza and a donut? Most of them be like, fuck no, I can't even. That made me feel like shit. Like they don't get pleasure out of it.
If you get off the stuff for so long, like
Get off the sauce.
yeah, if you get off the sauce, every show I've done, so like competition prep goes on for, usually I would do it for 12 weeks. And I wouldn't eat anything outside of my diet.
Yeah, you would be going through it.
Yeah, that is like an unhealthy, the way you do it for bodybuilding is unhealthy. But say I was eating enough calories of those good foods. And then after, I would have cravings when I was dieting. So what I would do is I'd go out and buy whatever thing I was craving, and then I'd store it like a fucking chipmunk stores acorns in a tree, and I'd put it in my mini fridge. And then when my diet was over, me and Alex would look into my fridge and be like, bro, let's fucking dig in. And then after 2 days, I'd look in the fridge and be like, I'd want to throw up because that stuff just looks horrible.
Yeah.
And you realize how much that makes you feel awful. All the sugars, all the carbs, all the fats in them. You're like, I miss dieting and not feeling like bloated, sluggish, like shit
Lethargic.
every day. Yes. It is crazy how much those things affect you.
100%. Like I just recently improved my diet a lot in the last like month or two, and I feel better. Like I think there's a lot of like brain fog too. Like you're not as clear headed too when you're eating all that shit. But I've noticed that for sure. Like I just feel better. I don't feel great yet. There's still room for improvement. But I just feel, I feel better. I'm happier. I'm happier that I feel better.
And who doesn't want that?
Everybody wants to feel better. So why not? You know what I mean? And it feels good eating something healthy. Once you do it for long enough, then it starts to feel good and it starts to taste better. Like that salad today, it fucking slapped.
That was nasty.
Nah, you're wrong.
Look, I'm all for I love vegetables, but put them in a bowl and cover them in
Thousand Island.
Sauce and dressings.
That's really good. But
that sushi though, it's just rice and fish. There's nothing else to it. It's white rice and fucking fish.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people too need to get their blood work done because they'll find that they're deficient in things that they didn't even realize: zinc, magnesium, vitamin D. It's very common, and that's a zapper of energy. If you're deficient in D, zinc, or magnesium, potassium, there's so many things that could be the sole reason that you feel like shit.
Yeah.
Like that's it. Like I know when I was D deficient, I have vitamin D deficiency my whole life, but I didn't understand it until I was like 20. I remember I went to the doctor when I was like 20 years old. I got my blood work done, and my vitamin D level was like 9 or like 10. I think then you want to be around like 60 or 70. Like I was barely absorbing it, and I was depressed at the time. I was in counseling. Like I felt like depressed, but I didn't like have a reason. I remember like thinking like, why am I depressed? Like my life is decent right now. Like what's going on? I felt depressed. I had no drive. I felt no motivation. Like it just felt like off. They explained it to me like vitamin D is a hormone. It regulates things. It's very important. Let's get you on a supplement. So I started taking it, and about 2 months later, depression went away. The anxiety lessened. Like I felt like way better. It had to be that. Like I felt like crap. And I think 50% of people in America are vitamin D deficient.
I feel a lot of people are deficient in a lot of things.
It's insane. So I just got my blood work. I'm going back for blood work results. So I'm curious to see like where my levels are at for everything.
I should go get blood work done. I need to find a doctor first.
It's the one I went to.
Where do you go?
Steve Nam.
Is he accepting patients? Because the last place where I used to go,
This is
I-
the first time I've ever.
is it? Oh yeah, drop me that number later.
Yeah,
Because
there's
I haven't
some-
been to a doctor in probably 6 or 7 years.
We don't advocate for this, but I
No, it's
also was
bad.
slacking. I think it was 4 years for me.
I've been to the dentist frequently. I go to the eye doctor frequently. In fact, I have to go to the eye doctor in February. But like a physician, I haven't seen in years.
Why do you think that like we avoid going to the doctor? Because I do the same thing. Like, I'll see the dentist and everything, but I'm scared of like the doctor. Like, I don't want to go see
I'm
a
not
doctor.
like scared of the doctor.
Yeah.
I've just been like, oh, I have to go.
It's like a lot of
they're gonna weigh
prep
me
work.
and just tell me the same shit.
fondle my balls.
I've never had my balls fondled. Whenever I've had a hernia check, they always check like my lower stomach.
What kind of doctors do who?
Well, because a hernia is
You have to file a complaint.
a hernia. You could see a hernia that way if you want.
Yeah. Yeah, they used to. You never had your balls fondled?
Never,
Bro.
never once.
Man.
People would talk about that. I'd be like, yeah, yep, yeah.
One bad.
I've had that experience.
I had
but
an
never.
attractive female doctor when I was like 13. And I would.
Jesus Christ, being 13.
Oh, it was horrible. I'd think about the worst things while she was doing it. I'd be like, dead children, dead grandma, like fucking naked, fucking fat guy on crack. Like, I'd be thinking of the craziest shit. And fortunately, it worked every time. But could you imagine, like, the horror that would be on somebody? Imagine.
I imagine if she's a doctor and
Like, that guy.
she knows, but it's
Come on,
still just like,
you're bricked up, like, getting your balls fondled by the doctor.
yeah, that's not great.
Yeah.
You don't want that.
Like, come on. Like, come on, guys.
You don't want
But
to put anyone else through that.
But anyways, yeah, all I did, I just called him, told him, hi, my name's Kyle, I'd like to apply to be like a new patient. And they're like, yeah, whatever, blah, blah, we'll send you the paperwork.
Where's it
Busy.
at?
You know what? It's literally, the McDonald's right by you?
Yeah.
It's like 300 feet down the street. It's like half a minute away from you.
Really?
Literally half a minute.
Fuck yeah, my dentist is real close too.
So you probably see it and pass it all the time.
I probably do.
Yeah. But yeah, they're really cool. They were real nice. Like so I went to, it's a problem with some doctors. I went to a doctor, I remember telling you this, a few years ago. I forget the name. But they were awful. The whole experience was awful. It was near Altman. They didn't look at me when they were talking to me. He didn't do a follow-up. He didn't ask me any like questions. Didn't seem like he cared. Like, they just didn't give a shit. Like, I was like, okay, like, that's weird. So it discouraged me from going back.
It might have been my thing too. The last time I went to any sort of care facility, it was 2019. I don't know what the fuck I was sick with, but it was something. Was it 2019? It was probably 2019. And I don't know what the fuck I had, but I felt like shit. I was at work, and Dave was like, hey, dude, go home, get out of here. You look like shit. I'm like, all right. So I went to like a stat care. I go in there, and they tested me first for strep. And they're like, okay, there's nothing there. So then they drew my blood. They were going to test for, I think, meningitis. And I left, and I never got the results back from the blood work. Not a call, nothing. And 2 years later, I'm at the gym, and I get a call saying, hey, you owe us like $200 for this blood work. I'm like, what blood work? They're like, on like August 15th, 2019, you were in here. I'm like, whoa. I never got those results. They're like, well, we sent them to your doctor. I'm like, well, he never fucking called me and told me what the fuck was wrong with me. I never heard anything back.
So you technically haven't been to the doctor for even longer then? Because you never got any results?
Yeah, I don't know how long I had not been to the doctor before that, because I hadn't gone
Probably
a
like
couple years
18.
before that. I think maybe last time I went was sometime in high school.
No, and we were pretty good about it.
And that's
until
I
18.
think that's why I didn't go back to that doctor, because I was a patient at a place, but the doctor just never fucking told me my results. They were like, we sent them to your doctor. I was like, he never let me know about this. I was like, I don't know what was wrong with me.
That's discouraging.
Yeah, it is. I'm like, well, fuck this guy. I'm not going back to him.
I feel like I remember seeing something like a lot of doctors, like, they kind of kick you out as a patient because they're so busy. Like,
I think it's if you don't go somewhere for, I think the average is like 5 years, you are no longer a patient there. Because I tried to call the same place where I was a patient. They were like, we're not accepting new applicants.
Yeah.
Sorry. But the rest of my family goes there.
Did you tell them that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, I know that like if you don't have anything that they can easily figure out, like say you feel like something's wrong and your blood work comes back fine. They don't want to deal with you. They're so busy that they have so much shit on their plate and they don't want to, there could be 1,000 things wrong with you. They just don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
Like they'd rather take care of somebody else that they know they can treat for a certain thing.
One thing I'm starting to see a lot too is how much like being mentally unwell can affect you physically.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. How much, if you psych yourself out so much, you can get physical symptoms from shit. That's wild.
Oh yeah, and they're like how strong the placebo effect can be too.
Yeah.
Like if you believe that something's gonna happen or you're gonna get sick, like you might get sick.
If you convince yourself, you're like, oh, dude, I'm so nauseous, I'm gonna throw up. Then you actually throw up.
I've done that.
You get more nauseous.
Mm-hmm. Like when I was drunk, I'd convince myself that I had to throw up, and I don't think I really did.
Oh, that's good. Get that shit out of your system.
Yeah, but then I would just go back and drink.
That's not great.
It's like, hey,
That's what I did New Year's. I was a
I hit
mess.
the reset button.
It's like, hey, I got it out. I'm a fresh. I'm
Come
clean,
on,
clean slate.
Spit it out.
I'm a clean slate. I don't know. I just had a mental brain fart there.
Yeah, we had a long week. It's been a long day for me. I mean, easy, but long day. I didn't sleep that good last night. I've been sleeping like shit. Like the last week.
I really never had a problem sleeping. That's one of the things that really comes easy to me.
That's bullshit.
It's amazing. It's so good.
You're lucky, yeah. I mean, there's been like times where I've slept great for like months at a time, but this last week I've been like waking up like all night, and my Apple Watch is fucking lying to me.
Why?
Like my sleep tracking. It said I got 6 hours and 51 minutes.
Do you wear that when you sleep?
Mm-hmm. For the sleep tracking. I did not get 6 hours and 51 minutes because I looked at the clock, and by the time I fell asleep, it was like 11:40 something. I woke up at like 2. I just feel like crap this week. Like tired. But
I think the weather has a big effect.
yeah, I mean, I feel like I still feel good, but I'm tired just from lack of sleep.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like from eating healthy. I don't feel like bloated and
Super
lethargic.
and
Yeah,
blah.
like fucking the Panda Express. It's horrible.
Sheets always fucks me up real good.
The-
When I wake up the next morning, my stomach just feels like
Yeah.
a boiling pit of shit.
What's the sauce that they have? Boom Boom
Boom
sauce.
Boom.
That makes me like, man, I get the shits from that
Just
stuff.
runs.
Bad every time. And it's not even hot, but it fucks me up.
Maybe it's something in it. Who
Well,
knows what the fuck it's made of?
Who knows? There's so many like processed ingredients in that stuff.
It's like yum yum sauce. I love the taste of it.
Maybe that's what did it today.
The yum yum.
Oh, it's Dunkin'.
It tastes great.
It's so
But
good.
man, it makes me feel horrible.
Wonder what's in that. Fatty?
I think it is very fatty. I was looking at the ingredients because there's this brand that they sell at Giant Eagle that Dom had. It's this shit. That's the exact brand I would get. I want to see if they have the ingredients here on a picture or something. There they are. I can't see them too well. This one should do. Oh, it's so blurry. Let's go to Google Images. I don't know. But
I'll take your word for it.
it tastes great. You know that.
Yeah. Anything that's bad for you usually tastes pretty good.
It tastes usually awesome.
But that's with like the mindset you have to get out of, I think. It's hard though.
It's such a small little dopamine hit. It's like some people get an awesome dopamine hit from buying things. I mean, I do. That's honestly
I love buying things.
I do. I like buying things. It makes me feel good. But then afterwards, I'm like, did I really need to spend that money on that thing?
Like right after you open the package.
Yeah, and it sucks. And it's like, okay, well, the fun is gone. No longer waiting for it. I have it. Now I'm not excited anymore.
I always picture like a rat getting like cheese from like his fucking the trap.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah. Like grabbing
I think anticipation
Yeah.
is more fun than the actual thing.
That's what they say. It's about the journey, not the destination.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like I I think about how much money I've wasted on like shit, like Amazon and eBay and stuff. Like where's all my stuff at? Like all this, I bought all this stuff. Like where does it all go?
That's how I feel.
Like I look around, I'm like, cool. Like I have a cool light and like some other things, but
Yeah, I'm like, based on how much I make versus what I have, I'm like, where the fuck is my money?
yeah.
I'm doing a much better job at saving. I have done a lot better at saving the past 2 years than like I ever have, which is good.
Well, those have those payments hit like the
Next month I get to start paying those.
It's gonna hurt.
That's gonna suck.
How's that going in your search?
God, the fucking market is such a shit
Is
show,
it?
dude. It's so bad. If I go on LinkedIn and I filter out my stuff, like entry level, and say I put in a city or even remote, entry level stuff is like 4 years experience, 6 years. I see some with 7 years experience. I'm like,
It's not
this is
entry
not
level.
entry level. And the shit thing about something
Lie
like,
about it.
like LinkedIn is a company can just promote their ad, and even though it does not match my search criteria at all. So it's money wins that, but it filters out all the shit that I could actually be applicable for. It's so frustrating. It is such a bummer. It's so degrading trying to find a job in this market,
Yeah.
for CS especially.
Do you think it'll get better soon?
I
mean, it
hope.
can't keep getting
Because
worse and worse.
in what I read a lot on Reddit from like these subreddits of people who are kind of going through the same thing, they say like 2019, 2021 was like the shit. They would hire anybody, like degree, no degree. It's like it was fantastic. And then layoffs started happening, COVID left, and it's like now we're here with an oversaturation of web developers and people in that niche, and companies no longer like, well, we're not getting these checks for a lot of money, so we can't hire on all these people.
And everything costs more.
Yeah, so
Like
it's
nobody
just a shitstorm. And I hate when people are like, well, no one wants to work. I'm like, dog, I would kill for another job, and I know other people would as well. It's not that they don't want to work, it's that companies don't want to pay them.
And most companies are just shit.
Yeah, they're just
You'd be
shit
miserable.
stingy.
Yeah. Yeah, it sucks. I mean, I feel like eventually it's gonna get better for you.
We'll see.
And the interview process sucks for that in specific.
Don't even get me fucking started, dude.
Yeah, that's rough.
The interview I did have wasn't bad, but from what I've heard from most people, it's like you have to study not just for that interview. There's this thing called Leet Code, and they're solving algorithms, which are actually really fun. It is a lot of fun to solve problems like that, but you have to study those. And I see some people say, like, I went through 6 rounds of interviews, each like over an hour long, and then they ghosted me. I would be so fucking angry.
Oh, I punched my screen.
Bro, that is so much wasted time on both of your ends. Why would you do that to somebody?
I don't know. Maybe it's like a sick game they want to play.
It's the amount of hoops you have to jump through for this, and I don't think it's just this. It's probably a lot of other things as well. It's just absolutely ridiculous.
This is programming, by the way. Like
Yeah,
web
software engineering, web development.
Hmm.
It's just horrendous.
Did you expect it to be like? I know you had an idea.
Not really. See, what the thing, I went to a boot camp, which was cool, rather a little expensive, but they kind of like overpromise, and they deliver pretty well. Like, I learned how to do a lot of things. I learned a lot about this stuff, but the amount of technologies out there that are available is like endless. So I learned full stack web development in Python, Mern, and C#. That is such a small sliver of available technologies that can be used. And the thing is, we learned like CRUD application, create, read, update, delete. I mentioned those 3 stacks. They all do the exact same thing in different ways. It's like, say I want to create a website where like I make a user. He says, oh, here's a recipe. I make this and I share it to this board. You can do that in Python. You can do that in Mern and React, but it's done differently, typed completely differently. I can do that in C#, but it's typed completely differently. It seems so
pointless.
redundant. I'm like, why do I have all these things that do the same thing, just typed in different ways?
So you wish you would have learned like something completely different to Python?
No, I think all this stuff is super interesting. I like it. It isn't even like that, oh, I wish I would have learned this instead. It's just the amount of redundancy.
And you have to like keep up on everything.
Yeah, you do, because there's new shit
It's
coming
always
out all the
changing.
time.
Yeah.
And stuff gets popular for like no apparent reason.
Yeah. Are you still in contact with the people that you were in your camp with?
Yeah, a few of them.
Have any of them got any luck? Like anything?
No one, only one person I know has a job out of the probably 20 plus people that were in like just my class type deal.
So you know it's not just you.
No,
Like,
it's
just
like
the
everybody.
market,
It's
yeah.
just a shit show.
That sucks. I mean, it's not like for nothing though. You still have that baseline knowledge.
Yeah, like
It'll happen.
I think
naturally.
it's fun to do. I enjoy doing it.
Yeah, you learn a lot about computers anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's a rough time out there for everybody. Like everything's shitty, slow, everything's expensive.
Everything is expensive.
And I don't think it's coming down soon. And how are we gonna get a house?
We're not getting houses, dude.
I was looking at them today, and I'm like, how? How does anybody with an average income? How do they afford that?
I'd say we make probably above average for like our age without a degree. We make not horrible money,
Yeah.
but better than a lot of people.
And yeah, you're right. We'd be a little bit above. So like, if we can't afford it,
They sure as fuck can't afford it.
I don't understand.
My buddy bought a house it was a few years ago, and I'm like, dude, you were smart as fuck.
Yeah.
His house is probably worth a lot more than what he bought it for. His
And
interest rate is
interest.
not super fucked, I don't
Interest is a
think.
big deal.
I see interest rates, and they're like, okay, this is like a 7% interest rate over a 30-year loan. It's like your house is worth $300,000, but you're paying like $400,000 in interest. So you're
Sometimes
paying
more.
$700,000 for that house.
That's insane.
That blows my mind. That makes me not want to buy a house,
Yeah, unless you can have the cash to be like, here you go.
and I don't have the fucking cash for that.
I don't think like more than 1% of the world does. But yeah, if you bought a house in like 2019, you're a genius. But I don't know. I see like a lot of people. We're both single. A lot of people are married and they share their income.
Yeah, so dual income's nice.
Yeah,
That's got to make it a lot easier.
but like they're all miserable.
Can you imagine being married right now?
No, and that's so like we're weird for saying that. Like that's weird. Like we're the outliers.
Like when you go on Instagram and see a picture of someone you went to high school with,
And they're
married,
married.
and they have kids.
It's just, I don't mean this in a bad way. I think of them as like NPC. Like they, you know what I mean? Like they don't have like they don't think. They just do. Like they go mate, they get lifelong partner, they get shelter, and they.
Like that's it.
That's it. Like it's just weird to me. I guess like it's good for them. Like it's good. They're happy. It seems like one. Actually, most of them are miserable and fat, but some of them are happy. Which I don't know. I think getting married at a young age is just a big mistake because we all change so much,
Yeah,
even in our 20s.
it's just that's the status quo. That's the thing you do. You
But
go to
it's
college, meet
wrong.
someone, get married, get a job, get a house.
Even college, like yeah, college is cool and beneficial, but like so many people don't get a job in their degree. They start out a slave to the system, $100,000 in debt, or they drop out and waste all their money. Like some degrees are worth it, but a lot of them aren't.
I get asked kind of frequently, like, and I think about it a lot too. I'm like, should I have gone to college? Especially now with like the web development thing. Like, it would be so much easier with a CS degree. But if I had gone to college in 2017, like right after high school, I can assure you 100% I would not have gone for computer science. I don't know what the fuck I would have gone for.
I was pushed to go to college too, and I don't know for what.
Yeah, I think like a big reason for me was just I don't know what I want to go for.
I think something, I don't know. For me, I think I'd be fascinated in like psychology or sports science or something like that. But
Well, now you are. Were you in 2017?
no, I had no fucking idea. I would have probably joined the medical field and been miserable. Because I remember like thinking about like, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? And like other people pushed me to join the medical field. And I was like, I don't, like, I remember thinking, like, I don't, like, why? I don't really want to. But, yeah, that's probably what I would have joined, some sort of medical degree. And I would have been miserable right now,
Yeah.
wishing I did something else. But, hey.
I wouldn't say I'm like thrilled where I'm at right now, but
No, but we don't have
I'm like
stress.
decently happy.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
You'd be a completely different person had you gone to college right now.
And I almost joined the Air Force.
Really?
Yeah, I remember in like I worked at where we work now. It was 2018, like first year I started working there. I was I'd taken the ASVAB test, so like the
Damn, you were like
I was like
you were all in.
going
You were going
100%. My brain was I was made up, like I was going. They were going over like the jobs that I would be eligible to do with my score. Like you have like a test you take.
Yeah.
You know how it works. And remember, like, the recruiter just rubbed me the wrong way. I just didn't like the recruiter. He was very, like, arrogant, I guess. And I went home that night, and I was like, I don't think I'm going to go in there tomorrow. Like, I was going in the next day to, like, set everything up to, I forget what they call it, like, MEPS? It's like the thing where you go get, like, physicals and you crab walk and do weird shit. That stuff. I was going to like set that up, I think, the next day, and I was like, I'm just not gonna go in. And I'm so happy I didn't. Like looking back on it, like I'm not to say that the Air Force is a bad thing. It just wouldn't have been for me.
Mm-hmm.
I was young, naive. Like it's not what I wanted. But at the time, I was like, what else am I gonna do? I was at a shitty job. I was at Shears. I was like, fuck it, I'll join the Air Force. I just quit Shears, and actually, the place we're at now wasn't working out for me at the time.
Oh yeah, I remember. I remember.
I was blacklisted for about a year and a half. But yeah, so I don't know, like all those people, like you're saying, like you and I would have been different people. Like so many of them, I think, made bad decisions. Like because you just don't. It's not their fault. You just don't know what to do because you've never done it. Right. You have no life experience.
How do you know if you grow up and you're in high school, you don't have any real responsibility in high school.
Mm-mm.
And then you go and you're like, okay, well, in 3 months, you have to decide what you want to do for the rest of your life.
That's insane.
To say that to like a 17, 18-year-old, how do you fucking know?
You take a guess and you think you do, and then you find out you don't, unless you're lucky.
Yeah, I know so many people who have changed their degrees partway through,
mm-hmm.
and then they have to like either start from scratch or go into something completely different.
Or they're just miserable.
Yeah. That's got to be so difficult.
Yeah, I know like a lot of people like that I'm familiar with or had been friends with got an educational degree, and man, it's rough. Like they're not happy. Like being a teacher in today's world is rough.
I know a lot of teachers. My sister's a teacher. Her husband's a teacher. One of my closest friends, his girlfriend's a teacher. She's friends with other teachers. I know a lot of teachers. And dude, some of the shit they tell me, I'm like, what? How do you do that? Yeah. Why would you put up with that?
Yeah.
How can you put up with that?
Like mentally, like I'd freak the fuck out.
One of them was telling me. So she's in like a not great district. She is in charge of the problem class. And I was looking. She showed us a picture of some of their handwriting, and this is a 4th grade class. It was horrendous. It was so bad. And then she was like, this is our best student. She's like, some people can't speak English. They have no idea how to write. They get letters backwards, and they're in 4th grade.
Yeah, that's tough.
That's so crazy.
That's scary.
That's crazy.
Because I learned cursive by 3rd grade, like fluently.
Yeah, we learned cursive in 2nd grade. And these kids can't write the standard alphabet without writing it backwards.
I feel like the passing grades just get lower and lower. Like we expect more or less and less from these people.
I think it's partially that, and another reason could be like you just pass the kids through.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, just let them go. Like at McKinley, I think the year, either 2 years after me or the year after me, 70% of the graduating class was not supposed to walk, and they passed them. What they did for us, our class. So if you did not meet the standards to graduate and get your diploma, they gave you a packet of papers that you just had to do. If you did them, you could walk and get your degree. Yeah, diploma. That's wild. It's like, and I'm not going to like sit here and say it's the teacher's fault, because the curriculum is fucked. Like the whole system is pretty fucked.
And
I think teachers really want the kids to succeed. They don't go into teaching thinking, man, I just want to pass for these kids, get some money and go. It's like, if you go into teaching, you want to teach people and have them improve, see them do good. I mean, I don't think they're excited to do this shit. It's like, what do? You can't hold back 70% of a class of 400 people.
Because that, they would get in trouble for that, like big trouble.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're encouraged not to fail. Like I remember St. Thomas, what was their, what was it, like 90-something% of the students there like went to college?
Yeah, it's a college prep school.
Yeah, how many, was it like 96 or 97%?
It's something like that.
Damn. So we both
we were the bad
the top
eggs.
3%, dude.
We didn't graduate from
Yeah,
there.
that's true.
So we didn't affect their numbers.
That's true, yeah. Damn. So say we stayed there, we probably would have gone to college because they would have forced it.
I would not have gone to college. That's the reason part of the reason my parents took me out. That, and because I wasn't playing sports, I knew it was expensive. So there was like a mild multitude of reasons.
Do you wish you would have stayed there?
I mean, I don't really care. I think I'm fortunate, and I think you might feel the same way. We've had both experiences of private and public school. I think that's healthy. I got to see a lot in public school that I never would have seen in private school.
It's a totally different world.
It's completely different. It's so crazy different. I think that's good, seeing that stuff. Because everyone else I went to St. Thomas with, most, maybe like one or two kids have gone to public school. The rest were in private school their whole lives. So they have no idea what public school is like.
I know going to private school, were you in private school? Yeah, you were in private school more than you were in public.
Yeah.
And I was in public more than I was in private. And the transition from public to private for me was extreme. It was like, I don't know how to act. I'm like a monkey. And you guys are like sophisticated. I'm like, we were scratching my armpits. Like, it was very hard. And I didn't have money. My family doesn't have money. And a lot of them did. So it was a very bizarre situation, I guess. Like, it was hard, like, to adapt to that environment. Because they're all talking about, like, golf and they're just different sports.
They all know each other. Like when you go to private school, you grow up with those kids from like preschool, and then there's feeder high schools, and you go to that high school. So everybody's known each other for a very long time.
And they did. I remember. Yeah, they would all talk about, hey, remember like 10 years ago? And I was like, I don't.
I'm the new guy here.
Yeah, it was rough for me, but then that's why I got taken out. Taken out. I was a bad noodle, but they fucking, I didn't really do anything like bad, but they bullied me there to the point of forcing me to be bad. So I was pretty much like, hey.
Were you impressionable? Were you acting out to try and fit in?
Yeah, I think partly, for sure. I thought that maybe like not class clown, but I don't know, just like I felt like I had to fit in somehow, and I didn't really know how. So being like I don't know, like a jokester was like how I thought I was gonna fit in, but it just made me look like an ass. But at the time, I didn't know what to do. Like they were evil there, dude. Some of them were fucking horrible people.
You went to Country Day, didn't you?
And that was not as. So that was weird. That was it's like an alien experience. Like looking back on that was such a weird year. That school was like not a school. It was like a cult. There was 14 or 15 kids in my class, like graduating, and they all grew up with each other too. But But like it wasn't like school. It was weird. It was so weird, and the structure of the building is weird too. There was like a spiral staircase and like a secret upstairs. It was weird.
It is weird.
And we all got our own MacBooks. We got
Jesus
Wendy's.
Christ.
Wendy's for school lunch.
You went to a real rich school.
It was 15 in 2000 and when was this? Like 2010, 11 maybe. I think 10 or 11. It was $15,000 or $16,000 a year. We got financial assistance, but yeah, if you made enough money, it was like 16,000 a year. And today, I think it's like, I remember looking like 2 years ago, it was like 23 or something like that for a middle school. Well, was it K to 8?
Yeah, K to 8. Yeah, that's the thing.
That's insane. Like they had they took every year a trip to another country.
That's fucking wild.
$6,000 you had to pay to go to France or Spain or wherever the fuck they would go. And it was like weird if you didn't go. Like, hey guys, we're going to fucking Soviet Union this year. Like, come on. Like, okay. Like, we can afford. I couldn't afford that. My family couldn't afford $6,000, and they're all like, no pressure.
$6,000 on top of tuition.
Yeah, and then on top of that, a lot of the parents would donate to the school, and I remember one of the donations was like $15,000, and that was like every year. Like, here's another like $15,000 just for raising my child. You know what I mean? It was like, how do these people have that much money? Like millionaires. One of them, their dad had a helicopter, and we had a big field in the back, like massive, and he dropped her off via the helicopter.
That's like, that is shit out of a movie.
It was insane. Like, I don't have a helicopter. Like, I want one. I remember like being like going to those schools was like almost made you feel like shit about yourself, because like they have all these nice things, shoes, and you know when you're a kid all that stuff's important.
Yeah.
Like shoes, electronics, like they're hanging out, spending money, and wherever the fuck they're going, they're getting allowances. I remember feeling like very inferior, like for that 2-year stretch. So it was interesting. It definitely had an impact on like how I dealt with things mentally. I think it was good for me in the long run.
My K to 8 school was so much different than that.
You went to
St. Peter's.
Peter's, yeah.
It was not a rich school. There were no real like rich kids there.
That was a Catholic or Christian? Catholic?
Yeah, still like a private school, but not really no rich kids. Like some of my friends lived in my neighborhood, so I would hang out with them. There was nothing like, no one was landing helicopters. There were no overseas trips. We didn't have a gym. We had
Weird.
Our cafeteria served as like,
Where is St. Peter's?
downtown Canton. Like, you know where Buzzman's at?
Mm-hmm.
Right down the road from that. It says like St. Peter's Education Center. There's the church there. Our playground was the parking lot for anyone 6th grade and above. Or was it 5th grade? I can't remember. Or it was 3rd grade and above or something. Their playground was the outside parking lot. Yeah, it was. We definitely weren't a rich school.
Bro, you didn't have like recess, like normal recess?
Yeah, we had recess.
On a parking lot?
Yeah. It was.
What'd you do?
We had
Ew.
run around, play tag, flag football, kickball.
Okay.
There would always be like homeless people walking through the parking lot on recess, and the person on recess duty had to be like, "Hey, you can't come in here. There's kids playing."
Anything ever weird happen? Like weird homeless people?
There's probably been a few. Not that I can totally remember off the top of my head, but we would set these things were called like hobo traps. We'd put pennies out, see if they would take them if they were there the next day.
You guys were evil.
Like just over the fence, there would be like the top of a truck cab that goes over a bed and blankets under it where homeless people were sleeping.
That'd scare me. Like if I was a kid and I saw this dude in like a fucking, I don't know, like big jacket and weird hair, I'd be like, what the fuck?
We were just used to it then.
I grew up in the slums.
I guess so. But there were, like, the school I live by now is definitely a rich school. That's where the rich kids go. There were definitely rich schools that we would, like, play sports against and stuff that we knew kids from. But
Is
our school
OLAP?
was not. OLAP's not a rich school. The rich ones were, like, St. Paul's, St. Michael's, and everyone hated St. Mike's.
That's the one by you.
Yeah.
I never, like, I've always wanted to go in there. looks so fancy.
I've been in the church. Never in like the school area.
It's big. What is that? A middle school or a
That's a
K through 8?
K to 8.
That's a big school for K through 8.
That's the rich school. That's where the rich kids go.
Hmm.
St. Thomas didn't even have that many like rich kids. St. Thomas was definitely not.
Yeah, it wasn't as
super,
bougie as
no.
where I went, but they were definitely
There
some
were
of them were well to do.
there were some kids there who were just pompous assholes. Don't get me wrong, but that's just high school.
Yeah, I know one of the girls I went to Kent. I only went from Kent Country Day. Only one person went to St. Thomas with me from there, and she was normal. Like she was cool, but what was her parents? I remember they made like $500,000 a year.
Did her name start with an A?
D.
Oh. Okay, I know who it is.
You want to say it?
I don't want to say their name, but I know exactly who it is. Because I know them. They were 2 years ahead of me.
And then the last name was P.
Yep, I know exactly who it is.
Yeah, her. Yeah, her family.
I've been to their house.
It's fire. They have like a barn, like a heated. Like it's crazy.
They have a lake in the back. There's a fountain in the front with a circle driveway. It's a nutty house. There's a pool. It's fucking crazy.
Did you have like the party there or something?
No, my sister was 1 grade ahead of her, and I went there. She was taking like prom pictures, and I just tagged along. So I got to see the house when I tagged along.
I always forget I went to school with your sister.
Yeah, she was 1 year ahead of you.
So I saw her in the hallways like
Guaranteed.
all the time.
Guaranteed.
That's crazy.
That is weird.
It's like I think of like, I don't even know. Like that time was just like a fever dream. Like I don't remember like a lot of the people. It's like I probably saw her like all the time.
I want a yearbook from her for her sophomore year. It would have been. I'm gonna be like, hey, do you know this person? Do you know this person? This person? This person? This person?
Yeah, I know there was a lot of seniors that I knew for some reason because they were they had like that the program they had during the summer where you could like
you go to the school to help pay tuition.
Yeah, there was a lot of them.
Shit.
Like there was like 5 or 6 of them, and they were all pretty cool. But I know one of them got in legal trouble, like before the school year started, and I think that he might have gone to jail for a little bit.
Damn.
But he was like super like cool. He was my favorite person there. But he was always like, I remember them like saying like he's always like getting in this shit, like he's always causing trouble. He's always like just acting out, doing stuff. Yeah, I think he was 18, so I think he did something. And he didn't start he was going into a senior year. He had failed.
You just never saw him.
I just never saw him. And I remember them saying something like, yeah, like he did something. I don't remember what it was. But I don't think it was anything like crazy, but.
So you did 8th grade at Canton Country Day,
Mm-hmm.
and then freshman year at St. Thomas. And then you went to McKinley.
Yeah.
What was that? Did that transition affect you, or were you kind of expecting to go back into that?
The St. Thomas to McKinley?
Yeah, because you had spent 2 years in private school. So
Okay,
I guess
so-
you kind of grown
Well,
accustomed to it.
All my friends were at McKinley, like my childhood friends.
Mm-hmm.
So, who I was very close with. Man, I had a blast. Like the second that I walked in there, I just felt like relief. Like, I got a junior girlfriend within like 3 days. Very awkward. I said like 3 words to her, but I text her all the time.
Hey,
So I would
what's
walk.
up?
Yeah, I would like walk by the home and be like, hi. Just keep going. But that was like my girlfriend. What else? I got flowers from a couple girls. Like
Damn,
they
that's
gave me
like
flowers.
The anime trope of putting
I was living it
the
up,
love letter in the
dude.
locker.
I was like in awe of like, wow, I'm so happy I'm going here. Like my friends were there. I was in classes with like sitting next to like my childhood best friends. Like I had no problem. I was so relieved, so happy. I was so much more like I felt so much more natural. I had nobody bullied me at McKinley. Nobody fucked with me. Nobody picked on me. I never had an issue. I was golden at McKinley. But private school, nope. I got my self-esteem knocked down at private school.
Hurting. That's got to be tough, being not necessarily excluded, but not feeling welcome and not knowing anybody.
Mm-hmm. And especially at that age.
Yeah.
Like you're so vulnerable. Like yeah, it was rough. That's when I was in like counseling and shit like that. Because I thought I remember thinking like at the time like everybody there hated me, so I must be no good. Like they must be right. I remember having that thought. And that was tough. Like I was really like they really fucking picked on me. Like it wasn't like, hey, fucking retard. It was like it was bad.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they were fucking.
I've never like seen bullying like that.
Hmm? It wasn't just me. There was a few of them. You didn't know. First name was Daniel.
Daniel?
Sexton.
No.
I remember asking about him. He was one that they picked on. He was poor too. Go figure. And then, Jordan.
Yeah.
They fucked with Jordan like bad.
He went to St. Thomas when I was there.
Yeah, the first
he never
year.
left.
Really? I didn't know that. I thought he left. The first year, yeah, they used to fuck with him. Like, he got in fights. And fucking Robbie.
God, Robbie.
Yeah. What a legend.
He got picked on pretty hard.
Yeah, he did, but he didn't know it. I don't think.
That makes it even worse, man. That doesn't make it better.
I feel so bad for him. Well, yeah, like they would fuck with him all the time. But yeah, it was a lot of bullying at St. Thomas, like a lot of demeaning, at least in my experience.
It was very cliquey.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you were in the clique, cool. If you weren't, at least from my experience, I didn't see it too much. But I did see bullying, and I probably participated in it a few times towards like a small amount of people. I don't feel great about that, but you learn.
I did the same thing because when I got bullied at St. Thomas, I thought it would help me by like bullying somebody else. So I think about that too. Like, man, like I feel like shit. Like I almost think about like I remember a few years ago I thought about like messaging like some of the people like, hey, like I apologize for how I was. Like you don't have to respond to this. I just want to apologize.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know. I just did it to fit in.
Yeah, I was definitely more of a shitbag when I was around like people. If you got me like one-on-one with someone, I wouldn't be an asshole to you. But like your environment affects how you act to people, and I definitely went down that road a few times. I never like made fun of someone like, oh, you look like a fucking loser. It wasn't anything like that, but I didn't do anything to stop people from getting bullied.
Yeah.
I would low-key egg people on. I was a shitbag.
I would instigate. Like if it was funny and people were fucking with somebody, I'd be like, yeah, look at that fucker, because they would get the attention off of me.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I did it, and I was just also just miserable at that point. So anything I could do to shit on somebody else, I would take the opportunity. So I learned my lesson. It's not good.
Yeah, don't be an asshole.
Yeah, it doesn't benefit you in any way. It's not gonna make you feel better.
No, because now you're looking back on it like, man, was I really that much of a shitbag?
Yeah, I felt like shitty about it for like years after. But you live, you learn.
Yeah.
So, what else do we got to get to here? We're all over the place today.
Yeah. I like talking about high school. It's interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. Because it's such a formative part of your life. I think it's very important. 4 years. One of the most important times.
Oh, I have like... You watched the Jellyfish video? Yeah, you did watch the Jellyfish video. Actually, before we get into this, I need to run to the bathroom.
I'm going to follow you after that.
I'm just going to keep all this stuff. This is a crazy subreddit, dude. Let me close the door real quick.
Oh, yeah. I saw some, like, footage from the ground, like some of the explosions, some of the strikes.
I saw some of I saw some of it. But the combat footage subreddit is fucking crazy. Like, the one that I saw fairly recently, I think I might have said this before. Or maybe it was with someone else, but it was a drone in Ukraine. Just like a fucking DJI, since they do a lot of drone drop grenades. It was 2 Russian soldiers, one in a ditch, another one up on like a hill next to a tree or something. And the one on the tree is like begging, like, hey, don't fucking drop a grenade on me. Do it on that guy instead. And so he drops a grenade on the one guy in the ditch, and you can see the top of his head explode off of his body. And then they go over. This is all in like fucking 1080p, 60 FPS. They go over to the other guy, drop a grenade on him, blow his fucking head up. I'm like, this is crazy. The amount of suicides I've seen from Russian soldiers is crazy.
Damn.
They know they're injured, so they'll put the fucking rifle in their mouth, and you can see them pull the trigger and blow their own head off. It's nutty, dude. Like this. A lot of people, when they think of war, That's the shit they don't think about because you never saw it. It was never
Mhm.
talked about. That was, I don't want to say taboo, but taboo. And now that you can see it filmed from drones or guys with GoPros on them,
Isn't that wild?
that's so nutty. Imagine if that shit was around in World War II.
Like
So
there's-
many people would be like against what was going on.
Oh yeah. Imagine GoPros on like the Normandy beach.
That would be fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Just like, or like Russian columns coming in and getting blown up by mines, and guys getting dragged by their fucking feet because they couldn't get out of the vehicle in time, and it drives to drive away because or else they're all gonna fucking die. Just absolutely crazy footage, ridiculous stuff.
Yeah, war is very brutal.
It is,
Like
and
unexpectedly brutal.
it's so romanticized
Hmm.
from World War II, Vietnam people, the movies.
Well, if people knew like reality, they wouldn't want to join the military.
They wouldn't want to join. They wouldn't want to go to war. I mean, it's really, really brutal shit.
Yeah, it's rough. And even like the beheadings and stuff that you see from the Middle East, it's gross. Like, it's
Yeah, it is
horrible.
gross.
But jellyfish. We were talking about jellyfish before in the bathroom. I want to talk about jellyfish
I want to talk about the jellyfish.
because that's a very interesting video. There's so many things that. Okay, so. Okay, I'm gonna ask you, what's your opinion on the jellyfish? What do you think that is?
I don't even know where to begin with what that is. So, the footage that we saw, the real popular one recently that I think Jeremy Corbell released, I don't know who gave it to him, but he released the footage. He says there's supposed to be more, but it's supposed to be longer, and it's supposed to either go into water or come out of water in that same video.
That hasn't been.
I haven't seen it. So we just have the thing there. I don't know if it's hovering or moving, but it changes its heat signature from cold to warm or warm to cold. I don't know what the fuck it is. It does kind of look like there's a being in it, I'm not going to lie.
It was hard to see from the video.
It is very hard to see.
Yeah.
But that's not even the first one that's been seen.
Like
Like,
the jellyfish?
Yeah, I told you. There's one in Poland that's a real popular video that I've seen, and it's another jellyfish, and that cruise ship captain supposedly has seen the jellyfish UAPs go in and out of water.
Could it? I know this. If it looks like a jellyfish, could it possibly be like an undiscovered animal? A jellyfish? Like, you know what I mean?
Like a,
the ocean
a flying jellyfish?
is so like vast. Like we don't know what the fuck's in there. Like, is it possible? It's some like crazy. Like I don't know. There's some animals that can go from water to land.
Maybe.
I just
It's still, I mean,
throwing
it's
it out
still
there.
not undone.
I think that's less likely than it being
Alien.
alien ship.
What's weird is like when you think of an alien craft, you think of something pretty symmetrical,
Mhm.
not with,
Saucer.
yeah, like something with
Or tic-tac.
draping tentacles, and
That wind is picking
it
up.
could be building noises. I don't know.
That's the wind.
This place is spooky at night.
Yeah. All right, where were we
The
at?
jellyfish is gonna show up here, dude.
Bro, I'll fuck him up. I'll pull his tentacles.
He'll fuck you up. He'll go invisible mode.
Fucker.
Do you know if that was filmed? Was that U.S. military filming that?
I'm not. I assume it has to be.
I'm gonna find out. Real
I'm not
quick.
sure. But it was
That's-
flying over a military base.
Was it?
Yeah, that's where it was at.
Jellyfish UAP. Oh, that's images. Marine says Jellyfish UAP was ghost story of the base. That's interesting. Oh, it was in Iraq.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I guess so.
A military. Was it an American military base in Iraq? Or?
It appears so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
did
I
not
was
know that.
flying over Iraq in 2018.
So that video's from 2018.
I guess so.
The only thing that I don't like. Why is my Siri on? The only thing that like sketches me out about the whole thing is Jeremy Corbell. I don't like Jeremy Corbell. He rubbed me the wrong way.
I think he's very enthusiastic about the whole thing, and that's what rubs people the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
I think he can latch on to things pretty quickly because he's kind of like me. I want all the stuff to be true, but he's very outgoing with it.
Yeah.
I don't mind Jeremy Corbell. I think he's done a lot for the UAP community to bring it to light. But personality-wise, he is a lot.
You know, like watching his Rogan, like when he's with somebody on Rogan.
Oh, God, that's kind of annoying.
That's what I'm talking
He's
about.
like-
That's where he pisses me off.
He takes over and so, and then it has to explain what the person just explained, like they didn't just do it. That's very annoying.
Yeah.
A lot of people in the community don't like him either, so you're not alone.
But I don't want to discredit like the people that are capturing these videos. It's just the person that's bringing attention to them is not seen as a popular member in that community.
And if he does have the full video with it going in and out of water, why not just release it?
Does he have the full video?
Supposedly.
Oh, didn't he say that? According to him, he doesn't know if he's allowed to release it. I think he mentioned that.
Oh, yeah.
But then why was he allowed to release the other one?
I don't know. Maybe, I don't fucking know. That's what's really frustrating about all this UAP stuff is legal loopholes.
It's so wishy-washy.
I know. Like, I want disclosure. Someone's just going to have to take one for the team and release the shit.
Whistleblower. Julian Assange.
Julian Assange?
Julian Assange it. Like, just do what Julian Assange did.
Did he get charged?
So, Julian Assange is like a whole, like, rabbit hole.
I don't know about him. Does he
Seriously?
pertain to UAPs?
WikiLeaks.
Oh, he's the WikiLeaks guy?
Yeah, Julian Assange.
I thought that was...
The one that
I was
exposed
thinking
the-
Edward Snowden with NAS, or NSA.
Oh, it's similar. He exposed the, like, war crimes in Iraq and stuff. And he's basically wanted by the United States government. And they're publicly known for, like, being on camera saying they wanted to kill him. Like, they wanted to poison his food. That's like...
Yeah, someone's going to have to do that. They're just going to have to throw away their life so I can have satisfaction of knowing this stuff.
Yeah. And then move to another country like he did.
Yeah.
So you can't be extradited. I think he's in Russia, like Snowden. Or no, he's being held in a UK prison.
He's in the UK.
But he's in UK, but he has like freedom. He can't go like walking around, but he's not like a prisoner. But he's being held there. It's really weird. You gotta like look into him more. It's very fascinating.
I'll have to look into that.
That's one of the most interesting. But anyways, besides that, yeah, the jellyfish video, like you're saying, like yes, like there's got to be stuff out there that people just are scared to release, or they're legally bound. Like, oh, if we release this, we'll get in serious trouble.
I wonder why they can release just that snippet of footage, though.
It doesn't make any sense. That's what makes me like, whenever he talks about something, I'm like, like if it's his, like if he has the video and it's being sent to him, I don't know. It could be real. It could be whatever. I hope it is.
I want to see if I can find the Polish one.
I've never seen the Polish one.
Because it looks fairly similar. Jellyfish UAP, Poland. Leaked video shows Jellyfish UAP allegedly flying over U.S. military base in Iraq.
Do you think because it's Iraq or because it's a military base that it's like more secretive, classified?
Maybe. Especially since it was 2018. That's fairly recent. Poland UAP. Oh, Poland UFO. God, I wish these things were easier to find.
Yeah, whenever you want to find something, it's like impossible.
UFO sightings over Poland. UFO. I can't fucking find it. Or UFOs. It's just like big mega threads of, there's UFOs over Poland. But it looked like the sun was setting. It was getting later in the day, and this black thing is just hovering around, moving on this big field area. The dude looked pretty fucking close to it, I'm not gonna lie.
There's got to be some shit that's like out there going on here, like here right now. But like what? And why is it in that shape? Like what is that shape, or what is
Maybe
that?
that's another species that they talk about.
Is that like a ship, or is that a species?
It looked like there was something in it, piloting it or
Mhm.
commanding it.
It's so fascinating. What are they doing here?
I don't know. We could just be like the ants that you ate,
Man, they tasted pretty good. Protein.
but they're not eating us.
Yet.
They're just observing.
Or they're they're taking our souls. That's what I hear.
Yeah, we're just the
people-
vessels.
The vessels, yeah.
I wonder, like, what's next? So we have some crazy UAP footage, like the Go Fast, the Tic Tac. Those are from what, 2014?
Somewhere around there.
Now we're getting
2011,
footage from 2018 in Iraq. Have you heard about Rendlesham Forest? I think this was back in the 80s. Rendlesham Forest in the UK. There was a nuclear base, a nuclear military base that housed nuclear weapons. And supposedly a UFO landed there, shut everything down, and they were like, we have no control over these nuclear missiles anymore.
What? I never heard of that.
I guess it's low-key a common thing for UFOs and UAPs to be at nuclear facilities. That's why I think...
That's not surprising.
Yeah, I think it's... With the uptick in them, it's all tied back to us discovering nuclear weaponry and nuclear technology.
That's when you started seeing more activity?
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder... Oh, man. Okay, so say like 2,000 years ago, like was there time periods where they visited the Earth like they are now and more... Like more commonly?
Maybe they weren't as frequent.
Or were they less secretive too?
That might have been...
And why? Why are they so secretive now?
Maybe because they know of our technological advancements.
Like, what are we going to do? Put them on camera? Like, put them on Snapchat?
I don't know.
Like, why are they scared of Snapchat? Well, give them a filter.
The puppy dog filter.
Guys look cute. Like, it's okay, guys. I don't know. Like, because you see about a lot of stories and a lot of paintings that reference spacecraft and aliens.
Even like text, they say like this religious text a lot too. Like God came down on a chariot of fire.
Yeah, it's like they're talking about fucking aliens. That's what it sounds like.
But what's weird is if these things did visit from like very far away and come down on chariots of fire, people say like, oh, that sounds like a rocket. Would they really be using rockets and fuel like that to get here and land?
No, but you never know. Like, it could have been like a red trail behind them that they...
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, but I see what you're saying, though. I don't know. They, what was I going to say? They were, not Michelangelo. Leonardo da Vinci. Not Leonardo da Vinci. What the fuck is it? I'm having a brain fart. Who painted the Mona Lisa? Why can't I think of his name?
It wasn't Leonardo da Vinci.
No.
Was it?
That's like...
We need a Jamie here. We need someone to Google all this shit.
What the fuck?
Leonardo da Vinci.
Dead ass?
Yeah.
Why did...
16th century Leonardo da Vinci.
I'm thinking like Mona Lisa's way older in my head for some reason.
That is old. That's
like
the 1500s.
I'm thinking like even older. In that painting, there's like a saucer in the background that people point out. So I wonder like if that is a saucer, like why is he painting that? Like what is going on here? Or not in the Mona Lisa. I'm fucked up. I'm tired. It's been a long week.
There's another one.
He has paintings with saucers in them.
There's a lot of old paintings with what looks like saucers in them, or battles in the sky, things like that.
And the angels, like biblically accurate angels, are
that reminds me of the fucking jellyfish. People say a biblically accurate angel has like tentacles. It looks really crazy. I think the jellyfish looks kind of crazy.
It does look
tentacles.
very bizarre. Like I just wonder like, if that's a spacecraft, what makes that a more desirable shape to them than like a Tic Tac?
I don't know. It doesn't seem very
aerodynamic.
I guess aerodynamics don't matter when you're using anti-gravity shit.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess.
Because the go fast, I think, is... We talked about this. Like, the traditional way you think it would fly is horizontally with the air kind of foiling over it like a V, but it flips up.
Mm-hmm.
It's like... It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, so in theory, it would be like the aerodynamics of a fucking... paper plate flying through the...
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
So usually that plate would...
It just hits air. But if the air is a problem...
You think that they're pushing away, like with the propulsion, that their air, like wind doesn't matter? Resistance?
There's no way it can.
Because they're moving gravity. I want to move gravity. What is gravity? Nobody knows what gravity is yet.
It's just a thing.
It's just a force. We don't know what it is. Or why it is. So if we figure out that, like I know they tried to back engineer craft that use propulsion and they can never figure it out. So I wonder.
Something else that kind of came up was I think people wanted Bob Lazar to testify at Congress. And the one thing I read, he said he wouldn't do it. And I'm like, why? I do believe Bob Lazar. I want to believe Bob Lazar. But why would you not testify under
Do you think
oath?
it's just the exhaustive process?
It could be. It 100% could be. But if you know something like, and you've already talked about it so many times, and people still look at you as, I mean, I don't think he really cares if people looked at him, whether or not he's telling the truth or bullshitting. I feel like if you were in a situation like that, you have a mild moral obligation to let people know. And if he wants,
Because he's already
like what he's done,
outed it.
yeah, he's outed it. He's trying to let people know. He's told his story. Why not like double down on it and confirm it?
That's a good point. I don't know, but he has, like in my opinion, I also believe him. Like if I had to pick a side, like come on, it just. But what would that do for him? I guess like say he testifies to Congress, like, well, how does that benefit him?
Maybe it doesn't. Maybe
Isn't that maybe what?
maybe he's
yeah?
thinking in the terms of, well, if I go in front of Congress, then they're really going to have it out for me
Mm-hmm.
because he claims they've already ruined his life.
Yep, they convinced his
They've, like,
wife that he was cheating on her and all sorts of crazy shit.
That's actually why they fired him
because
because
of
they
that.
tapped his phones
Yep.
and they found out his wife was cheating on him.
Oh, okay.
So they're like, hey, he's probably not mentally there anymore if he finds this out. So we
Yeah.
gotta can his ass.
I didn't know that. What did they do when they found him in the desert? Remember he was filming.
Yeah. He brought people up there to watch the UFOs.
Did they? What do they do for that? Like,
I don't know. I don't know if they arrested him or
Because if you
because I think technically he wasn't.
on there,
Was he, yeah, I can't remember if he was somewhere where he wasn't supposed to be.
technically,
Well, obviously he wasn't, but
but he wasn't like on the property.
yeah,
maybe.
it's like, well, what do you do? And if the people with him, they're like, hey, we have to arrest this guy. You guys you can't be here.
They were flying that craft.
Yeah, he
Right.
said like every Wednesday or Thursday or something like that, they would fly a craft.
Imagine how intimidating it would be to get into a craft of that like magnitude,
Right? Like
and you don't know how it works.
you just have to attempt to pilot it.
You just have to learn how to Like, what if you hit the wrong button and you warp like at
You
light
go
speed?
somewhere fucking crazy,
You'd be like at the edge of the earth and like.
and you have no idea how to get back. You're out there. You're done. Maybe
yeah.
that's happened.
Maybe that's the crash landings is our.
It might be
We
them coming
fucked
back.
up. We got the craft and then we tried to do something with it and then we fucked it up and aliens crashed here.
It was another
Isn't that a human in there? No. Yeah, I don't know. Cause he's got video of them, like lifting out. I wonder, like what does the inside of them look like? You think? Oh, I think that he described them as being like really small,
Yeah.
cause the beings are very small. So man, imagine like me being in there, like
You'd be way too tall for that shit. There's a really popular, I don't know if it's a picture or a video, but it looks like a triangle-shaped craft up in the sky. People zoom in on it a lot, and it really looks like you can see like gray aliens in there. It's pretty fucking crazy.
I think I've seen that. There's not lights on that one, is there? Like there's a triangle one with like lights.
I don't think that they're there. It looks like
I think I know. what
there's
you're
a
talking
viewing window, and they're
Mhm.
standing in it.
about. I wonder if that one was confirmed as.
I don't know about the legitimacy of
But I'm
it.
almost certain I saw that. That's like the only one I've ever seen where you could see like beings, besides the jellyfish. But I had a hard time seeing them. In the
I had to
jellyfish.
have someone like circle it, and then once it gets to that point, I'm like, okay, do I actually see it, or am I?
Convincing.
Yeah, or is it me telling myself that I'm seeing it?
Yeah, the jellyfish UFO. That could be so many things. Like that could be like military tech I was mentioning. It's not a smudge on the camera. I thought that, but it changes in size and it can't be a heat signature.
Actually, I think there was.
Did I take a screenshot of it or did I save it? There was something about that. No, that's about like Yemen.
The camera smudge one.
Yeah, I wonder if I saved. I hope I did. 'Cause it was a photographer kind of explaining why that isn't. Let's hope. Actual photographer explanation about people debunking the jellyfish video.
This guy goes in depth.
Just kind of TLDR it. He says all camera lenses have a minimum focus distance. For a lens to focus on something extremely close to the lens itself, they would need to have a macro type of lens, and even in that case, the higher the zoom, the further the object needs to be from the lens to be in focus.
So that's like on that camera, even if there was like a bubble around it.
To be blurry as shit.
Yeah, if it focused on it, it would be a blurry fucking mess. And there's no way it could focus on it because it's too close. You have to be at like a certain distance for the focus to happen.
Yeah, that makes sense.
This guy mentions the dome casing over the lens, how thick or far away it is. Like another user mentioned in the post here, and assuming this video was recorded at nighttime, in order to produce high quality recording while maintaining a decent shutter speed, otherwise the movement will be shown as blurry. You can look at various YouTube videos to show this. Some even use this technique for their videos because it produces a somewhat unique look. While still allowing most things to be in focus, they need to use a certain combination of lens aperture and ISO. The higher the aperture, the more blurry the objects in the background appear when one specific object is in focus. If the object is further, though, then the range of the background blur also gets further. If the object is closer, then the background blur is higher. In the video, there is moments where you can clearly notice how whoever is tracking the object slows down their panning movement, in some cases almost coming to a full stop. This happens when they almost get the object out of frame and the object still catches up.
Yeah, so it probably wasn't a smudge. So what? Okay, so then it is an object.
It's something there
So it is
that is
something.
being filmed and tracked.
It's gotta be aliens.
That's the only explanation.
And what else would it be besides military, like weird military tech or aliens? Like it's not a balloon with a fucking ghillie suit.
If
on
it is, I feel like I can kind of rule out the weird military tech thing, because why would they have that in Iraq in 2018? Like if you're working on something classified, top secret that no one knows about, I don't think.
Didn't they say it was like it had invisibility?
Supposedly the people on the ground couldn't see it.
Yeah.
But
And it seemed like it was opaque at some point.
yeah. I don't know. But I feel like if you have something like that, you wouldn't want it in a mildly active war zone area or a very hot area like
Unless
the Middle East.
they have already implemented it into like, I don't know.
And I definitely feel like if it's implemented, there's soldiers are taking pictures of it,
Yeah.
putting it out there.
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't think it's some military technology that's being hidden.
Now, what the fuck is it? Okay, so
I want to watch it one more time.
it's so yeah, because you're right. If that was true, then they would be exposing it. It would be impossible for that many soldiers to keep a secret, unless it's like a very specific few get access to it.
Hopefully this is the video itself and not some. I'm going to add. Perfect. Just show me the UAP. Skip. Oh, that's a 4 minute. There it is.
I think one of two things happen.
Like, I don't. What is that? Oh, God, I don't want to see some shit ass interview.
See how it kind of like
You can.
see through it?
Yeah, you can see it's moving.
It's so stiff.
It is.
But-
It's not.
That's what's like off-putting about it. Like, not in a bad way. It's just, it's so, the pattern it takes is so weird.
It is clearly an object moving through the air.
With like no movement, like on its.
Yeah, like if you think of a jellyfish moving through the air, you'd think the air resistance would push like the
Maybe.
tentacles back.
Yeah.
That's not happening here. And it has no like.
So it's a solid object.
It has no like defined shape. It's just like a fucking mess.
Where do you see the aliens at?
I'll have to find
it was hard for me to
go
see
back to
it.
this UAP alien. Let's see if that comes up. Come on.
Yeah, the more I watch it and the more I learn about it, the more it's like a very fascinating video. This is clear. It's pretty clear.
So this is kind of like, so here's a real close-up picture of it. You have like this. Imagine something is sitting up here, and someone the artist rendition looks fucking horrible, but
That's exactly
that's kind of like, I guess, the idea they're getting at. That it's sitting on top of it.
Go back to the actual picture of it. So like that's
It would,
brutal.
yeah, it would be like up here or up
Yeah.
here.
That's interesting. I don't know if I buy into the being in there, but the thing itself, like the craft itself, it's a solid object
That
moving
wind is not affecting it,
in
or
a
it does not appear to be.
very odd pattern. Yeah, I don't know. If aliens are here and they're flying those things and they're that like bold about it, that's a very bold place to fly. You're low to the ground and you're flying over a military base. Like they seem like they're getting more bold, I guess.
Yeah, and the fact that it was over a military base, I wonder if any like alarms were raised.
Yeah, they
'Cause
have.
Even if people didn't see it on the ground, it was being tracked and filmed, so
Mhm.
people knew it was there.
Yeah,
And it looks like nothing was really done about it.
like the Tic Tac things.
Yeah.
Did they? I remember reading reports that who said it? Somebody very important. It might have been Tucker Carlson or somebody that's like big media or whatever. That like they have like proof that we've fired upon alien craft. Like
Supposedly we've shot down multiple.
yeah.
Like multiple countries have shot down UAPs.
Why do they shoot them down? And okay, so why do they choose? So they mentioned they gave a reason. Like why would you choose to shoot one down and not the other? And I think the reason was in the military. If something looks like it has a payload, you're trained to shoot it down because it could be carrying a bomb or something. So if it looks like it has a payload, they shoot it down. But it's just fascinating to me. Like, how do you determine? Like, you know what I mean? Like, how do you determine that? Like, let's shoot this guy.
Yeah, like I wonder why. Did they shoot that down?
They might have.
Yeah, we just
But then
don't
they
know.
said it went to the water and came out.
I don't know if it came from the water or went into water.
Well, if it went into water, they
They
must
did,
not
obviously
have-
didn't shoot it down.
They must not have been planning.
Yeah, I
to,
wonder
at
what
least.
does determine whether or not something gets shot down.
Is it because it becomes hostile, or do we know of like a hostile species that we can identify?
I don't know. Supposedly there are hostile species
There
of
has to be.
aliens.
That scares the shit out of me. If they're okay, so if there's aliens, there's multiple species of aliens. If there's
Yeah.
one species, there's more. There's definitely a powerful hostile species that I think humans will eventually become the hostile alien species.
Yeah, we're dumb as fuck.
Yeah, and we're violent. Like imagine us with planetary power, multi galaxy power. We would be fucking taking things from other species.
Fuck yeah, we'd look at their resources and
We'd
whatever's
turn 'em
there.
into
We'd be
slaves
like,
and
what
we'd-
can we do with this?
Yeah, we would be like the nightmare species to run into. If you were a peaceful species on a planet that were just getting your feet under you, and we come along, we're taking your stuff,
Yeah.
and you're gonna work for us. Like that's a scary thought. Like imagine that happens to us. Like what are we gonna do about it? I'd kill myself. I just commit suicide. I'm not fucking working for an alien. I'm dying.
I'd try and convince them that I'm important. Be like, hey, you guys need me.
Oh, I'm different.
I'm
do
not
these
like,
guys-
I'm not like these other
Yeah.
humans.
I'm built different. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I wonder if anything will happen. Like I think, like you're saying, like what happens next. I think one of two things is that it dies down or it becomes like unavoidable. There's no other thing that it can't just keep.
I
on.
think it's getting to that unavoidable.
Like now you
area.
have to get congressional answers.
Yeah, like I think they just had another meeting with Grosh, I think, fairly recently, where he was able to spill more tea.
So is he able to make any of that information public now?
I guess not. He hasn't done it yet.
Man, I want to know what he's saying in these private. Like, what does he say that he in the private meetings that he doesn't say in the public view?
He has name dropped Northrop Grumman.
Who's that one?
They are a military contractor.
I didn't know that.
He has name dropped Northrop Grumman multiple times.
So is he saying that They have a contract with an alien species?
I don't think it was that they have a contract
Or that they
with
have
aliens.
stuff?
Is that they have stuff, but I think in their mind it's we can't let this out because then that affects our money.
That pisses me off.
It does piss me off.
It's always the money.
It is always the money, and I'm just a curious person, and I want to know. I think I deserve to know as a human whether or not there are other things living in the universe,
Yeah, that would be liberating, I think.
and if they're fucking here and we're shooting them down.
There's a lot of like talk about Antarctica, like in spacecraft getting shot down in Antarctica. I remember, I forget the project. There was a German project, and a bunch of their vessels and their aircraft were shot down, and it was like really hush hush
In Antarctica.
in Antarctica. Like they lost like a bunch of like soldiers and aircraft, like in training, like thousands of soldiers.
Training exercises in Antarctica.
What the fuck happened? Yeah, they had a training. This is like public information. They had a training exercise, and something went wrong or something happened. They don't really go into detail, and they lost a bunch of soldiers and a bunch of shit. Oh, what happened?
Where'd they go?
Where did they go? And then Antarctica is such a non-touched domain. Like it would be like the ocean would be like a great spot for them to hang out.
Supposedly there's underwater alien bases. Supposedly.
Do you think that's where the Atlantis thing comes from?
I've never even thought about that. That's a pretty
advanced
decent thought.
civilization under the water.
That's an interesting thought.
Hmm.
I can see how it would be. Like these things live in this very advanced society, and then one day it's gone. Maybe it got too popular, too discovered. They're like, okay, time to pack up and leave.
Think they have electricity down there?
Maybe they don't even need electricity.
Oh, that's a good one. Maybe they have like,
Like who knows what kind of technology these things possess? It's probably beyond what we can comprehend. Because we took one path of technology, maybe they took a completely different one.
Yeah. That's like you can talk about like the past civilizations too. Like people always think that we're so much smarter than those of 10, 20,000 years ago, but like what if they just took a different path and didn't create an iPhone? They just created a vibrational frequency that moved rocks. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's just as impressive as what we have. It's just a different route. I don't know. What if?
I would like to know. I'm curious.
I'm also curious. Is there anything else you want to get to?
I think that was
just about it.
We went pretty far.
What do you have? Anything?
Oh, we wanted to get to the moon landing. You want to do that now?
I need to do some more research on that.
Okay, that's fair.
I need to pick apart the
We've been at it for 3 hours.
Yeah.
That's solid.
I want to pick apart the fake moon landing people, tell them how they're dumb
Yeah.
and how they're wrong.
No, because if I say that, we're gonna start getting it. I'll just go real quick. I was in the camp of the moon landing was fake when I was younger, but like 3 or 4 years ago, I had like a wait a minute, you retard.
This can't be.
No, we'll get into it in the next episode.
One thing is, I've been watching a lot of 9/11 videos recently. I just find it very interesting.
Mm.
The whole events of that day were pretty fucking crazy. But I used to be in like the camp of, man, this is a little fishy. But I don't know. It's not really too fishy now that I'm looking more into it. Like people are like, jet fuel can't melt stove beams. No, it
I think
can't.
that's a stupid. Yeah,
That's an absolutely dumb.
that's
thing.
like I agree with
It
that.
can weaken fire. Can weaken the steel to where it can collapse.
That's like the weakest part of the theory.
Yeah, it's fucking dumb. I think a lot of things that still rub me the wrong way are like the fact that people made millions of dollars off of it happening.
More than they made a lot of fucking money.
That's suspicious as fuck.
Tower 7.
Tower 7, I don't really buy into it anymore.
Nothing hit Tower 7. Why did Tower 7 fall?
It was on fire. There was a horrible fire raging in Tower 7. There's videos of the fire in Tower 7.
Okay. I just don't listen. And the Pentagon, there's just so much.
The
about
Pentagon one, I hate when people bring up the Pentagon. They're like, it was a missile. It was not a fucking missile.
I don't think it was a. You see the video? There's one video of the.
I've seen all the video of the Pentagon. The camera is a fisheye lens that films at 1 frame a second, with a plane traveling at probably 500 to 600.
But how did
miles
an
per hour.
amateur pilot?
It's not an amateur pilot. They all went to flight school. They all got trained in flying. And once the plane's in the air, it's not hard to move. I've flown planes before. It's not hard to get where you want to go.
That's a cool statement to make.
I've flown airplanes. If you don't have to land it or really take off or talk to ATC.
But they had to come in at such a straight on trajectory, like that would be. I haven't flown an airplane or landed one, but I would think that would be fairly difficult to hit such a specific.
That's a big building. I mean, you're moving fast, yeah, but
that's the.
you also have a lot of room to work
And it's
with.
not that tall. The Pentagon's not that tall.
That's why it hit the ground first.
Oh, did it?
That's why the hole is so small. And a lot of people say, like, there's no debris at the Pentagon. There's lots of plane debris at the Pentagon.
There were just. I think the thing that makes me skeptical is there was so much incentive, like there's so much benefit that the United States government got out of that. Like it just makes me wonder. Like the Pentagon,
They got a reason to go to war.
They got a reason to go to war. They were the week before, the big story in the news was they were missing
A lot of money.
from the trillions of dollars, and where the plane hit the Pentagon was where all those files were kept. That's very suspicious. Donald Rumsfeld took
Rumsfeld's
out.
a piece of shit. Let me just say that right
That's
now.
suspicious.
Rumsfeld is a fucking shitbag.
He is a shitbag. He
What?
knew something was like. Bro took out a massive insurance policy like a week before.
A lot of people did.
He's not the only one.
A lot of people. I can't remember the term for stocks. I don't know if they shorted it, but
Shorting would be
they.
hoping that it would go down.
Yeah, they shorted a lot of airline stocks and made millions of dollars on the airlines stocks plummeting.
That's not you know what I mean. Like if you're looking at that like from the outside, like that's very
weird.
Suspicious.
It's very weird.
And the way that the towers fell.
There's nothing weird about it. I'm gonna say
No
that.
other building.
They
has
did. They
ever-
did not fall straight down on each other. You can clearly see the towers fall and lean forward a little bit. They did not fall like.
They looked like they
straight down.
free fell like on top of.
It
not
kinda looks like
perfectly straight, but it looked like a free fall.
Well, yeah, but think about like the damage that was done. So a plane hits it and it burns.
That's happened to other buildings like that, and they never fell.
Name another skyscraper that was hit by a plane. Although, besides, I think in the 1940s, a
can't
B-17 crashed into the Empire State Building. I think in 1944.
it might not have been a skyscraper, but they were tall, like similar shape.
Anyway,
I'll have to look it
the
up.
plane hit it. It burned and it weakened the steel above it, below it. So the tower came down, and the weakened material was already weak as fuck. So it's just going to keep falling. That's a lot of weight to be falling there.
What about the perfectly preserved passports of all the jihadists and extremists on the plane that weren't burned or anything like that, but everything else was absolutely desecrated?
I'm going to have to look into that.
They have them on
never heard about
display at the museum. Perfect passports.
that. I don't know. That sounds suspicious.
Look it up.
That sounds suspicious.
Look up the 9/11 passports.
9/11 passports.
Jamie, pull it up.
Entry the hijack the United States. The use of fake documents and student visas. September 11th. Tax passport suspected. September 11th. Plotter found in Pakistan. Passport of 9/11 suspect's name found in Pakistan.
See if you can
9/11
find a
plotter's
picture of them. Just look at the museum. It's either museum or memorial. I think it's museum. The museum passports.
This one looks to be in shape. Passport found. Let's go to the site. What's that saying?
I mean, they
a
should be
quarter.
like incinerated.
Terrorist attacks upon the United States public union. There were 4 passports found. 2 were recovered from the crash site of United Flight 93 in Pennsylvania. These are the passports of Ziad Jarrah and Saeed Al-Ghamdi. I butchered those names. But
That's okay.
it doesn't matter. They got pieces of shit.
Yeah.
I don't fucking care if I butchered their names.
I want to see the passports.
I don't see pictures of
Yeah,
them.
picture
It's
of them.
a Quora article.
They
Here's
have
the
them on
passport
display.
of Satam al-Suqami, who was one of the terrorists on Flight 11. This one was found on the street amongst the ejected from the crash. That one looks in pretty good
Maybe they
shape.
scrubbed the internet.
There's another passport. Here's a passport. Whether or not this was taken. Here's the passport of Saeed Al-Ghamdi, also a terrorist on Flight 93. As you can see, it is also not pristine. That's the one that I'm seeing right here.
So you're telling me?
Well, these are two different quality pictures.
Yeah, it might be different. Let me see that one.
There's this one.
Yeah.
Also found was the boarding pass. This one's pretty damaged.
Even this though, these things should have been turned into. You know what I mean? Like they were on fire for. An
Well,
impossibility.
weirder things have happened.
I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's just suspicious.
It's interesting.
It's something that those people that believe that 9/11 was an inside job will point
So,
to.
say those. What significance do you think that would have on it being an inside job? Like,
So they wanted to put a face to some of those people, like Barack Obama, Osama bin Laden existed, but Osama bin Laden was like face of war. Like we had an enemy that we knew the face of, that we could attach like a personal emotion to. So I don't know, maybe having like an actual, hey, look, this is people that committed these horrible crimes, was just like beneficial for the legitimacy of the story to have like a perpetrator.
don't you think that if they wanted to take that route, they would have made their nationalities Afghanistan instead of Saudi Arabia?
I'm not saying no.
I'm just
That's
just playing into it here.
That's a good point. I don't know. It's just something that people will point to. It's suspicious,
That's
I guess.
interesting.
So there's a lot of other like nuances that I'm still not convinced that it was an inside job. And the Epstein painting of Bush playing with the.
That also could be like a significant event during his presidency. Depends on when that was painted, I guess.
It's just suspicious.
Because
it was painted after that happened.
So I think that could take two avenues.
Yeah.
However you want to look at it.
What were you gonna say before that? You were
About the painting.
Never mind. You were gonna say something, but I interrupted.
Oh, no, that was pretty much it. Yeah, the more I look into it, the less I'm like. It's not that I think it was really an inside job done by the government. Like I think terrorists hijack planes. I think they crashed into the buildings. It's the money stuff that rubs me the wrong way. Because I kind of associated with Pearl Harbor. I'm like, well, it is pretty convenient that all the modern ships, the aircraft carriers, just happened to all be out of port that day. It's not that I think the U.S. was like, hey, Japan, come bomb Pearl Harbor. Maybe they had knowledge of it.
And just let it happen.
And really, kind of chose not to do anything about it as a means to get into a conflict that the public can get behind.
Yeah, but then we didn't even go to war with the right country.
Because we didn't go to war with Saudi Arabia because they got oil. We need them to be. They give us oil. If they're unstable and at war, then we don't get that oil.
I'm saying like we went to. I don't know. We wanted oil, and that was like the whole reason that we stayed there for 20 years. Do you think that maybe we realized that oil was profitable while we were there? And we're like, well, we're not leaving.
We knew oil was profitable before we even got there.
I mean, like when they realized that they'd rather stay and lose American lives than take them out of Afghanistan.
Afghanistan was a shit show, to say the least. Great podcast I just listened to. It's 10 episodes, each about an hour long. Blowback podcast. They talk about the U.S. involvement in Afghanistan, starting with the Soviet invasion in the 80s, all the way up until we left in 2021. So there's a lot that it covers, and boy, is it a shit show. It's just a fucking shit show.
Yeah.
I do recommend listening to it. It was a fantastic podcast. But like the reason we were there changed over those 20 years consistently. It started with Osama bin Laden being there. We need to go get him.
And then when he died, it went to.
It was just we were there. We are the security force here, and
And we did horrible things there as well.
Yeah, we did.
To innocent
We sure did.
people. that
Yeah,
deserved it.
We should not have been there
Yeah.
in the first place.
There was a story of a girl. I'm guessing this is true. I don't, but it seems like it would be. That I guess would give the soldiers candy in, I believe it was Afghanistan, and she was Middle Eastern, and she'd give them stuff. And I think one day, one of the soldiers just decided to kill her, like just shoot her.
That stuff does.
Like,
I wouldn't be surprised if it happened.
that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't be surprised.
There
if
was a
that
lot of
true.
fucked up shit. One thing they mentioned on the podcast was there would be like civil disputes amongst Afghans. Say like you were my neighbor and I didn't like you. What they would do is tip off the U.S. military and say, hey, my neighbor over here is associated with the Taliban. He's a terrorist. Then the U.S. military would go over and fuck that guy up.
What a good way to get rid of your neighbor.
Right? Like, Afghanistan was a shit show, and we are a huge part of that. But the corruption in Afghanistan and the leadership was also a huge part of the problem.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all around just an abysmal thing.
George Bush.
George Bush, Barack Obama, Joe Biden, Trump, all of them. It's just so really fucked up.
But that's like at the end of the day, like those are the faces that we associate, but they're not like the only people to blame.
Right, like guys
There
like
is
Donald Rumsfeld.
Yeah, he's a big shithole.
There's a lot of
barely
other-
anybody talks about.
There's a lot of people that nobody even knows the names of
Mhm.
that are associated with that.
Yeah, which scares me.
It's just lack of wanting to learn about it and taking the easiest route to blame someone.
Yeah,
It's easy to blame George Bush, and he's,
Yeah.
of course, a huge issue with it, but there's a lot of other guys who made decisions and calls there
Mhm.
that probably went over George Bush's head.
Yeah, they don't have absolute power to be like, yeah, we're going, or no, we're not going. There has to be a lot of meetings and a lot of hearings.
Mhm.
It's very complicated. Like everything in wars is more complex than people realize.
Especially in insurgency.
Mm-hmm.
Another story I did read today was this guy on Reddit supposedly served in Afghanistan, and he said there was this house that they would go by frequently. Like said, whoever he was with were pretty close with the family there. They would often like talk to the people who lived there. And one day, Taliban went in, tied up the family, and in the middle of the rooms, and then the Taliban started shooting out the windows to try and provoke a bombing on the house to kill the civilians inside. He said they didn't bomb the house, but they went in and saw that they were tied up. And eventually, like, the villagers killed the Taliban that did that. But that's just one of those things. It's like, how are the guys on the ground supposed to know that that's what's going on? Like, they're just trying to cover their own ass and not die.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone really wants to be there particularly.
So a lot of innocent people end up dead, but nobody really wanted that.
Yeah, that's definitely some cases. And then there's others where they just kill innocent people.
I remember watching like the drone strikes on like obvious they're not Taliban, but they would like convince like on camera they would be like, I think they're Taliban. Yeah, I think you're right. And like they know they're not, but they'll just say that and then they'll kill them. There's
Yeah.
like groups of them. It's just like what the fuck.
It's just crazy fucked up. It's
Yeah.
easy to get away with things in war.
Yeah, it is. So if you were like I don't know if you were like a serial killer and you wanted to kill legally,
Just go join the military.
join the military.
in a time of war.
Yeah, you get free reign.
Like some people get charged and convicted, but I'd say most don't.
Some people get like medals and honored for it, but I don't know. We'll save some stuff for next week.
Yeah, I want to look into the moon
landing,
landings. And then
That's
who knows what's going to happen in a week's time.
Yeah, 2024 has been kind of
Started off fucking
interesting. A lot of memes.
a lot of good memes.
Yeah, but a lot of bad shit going on, and I don't think it's gonna get
A
better.
lot
I
of
think
bad shit continuing, yeah.
election year is gonna be a big proponent of how crazy things get. It's gonna get crazy. I think. I don't know what's next.
Trump 2024.
I don't think they even let him. There's no way that they let him in the White House.
Yeah, probably not.
No way.
I wonder who's going to be the next president.
Nikki Haley,
Who's that?
one of the Democratic ones.
Is it a woman?
So there's a something that hasn't happened yet that I think is going to happen. Ron DeSantis dropped out of the race.
He did?
Yes.
He just had a debate with some other Republican.
Vivek Ramaswamy.
I think so.
He destroyed his ass. He
Or
destroyed.
it was a
DeSantis.
woman he had a debate with.
Right before Iowa caucuses. I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Did he really drop out?
Yep. 2 days ago, 3 days ago.
No fucking way.
But there's a plot to that though.
Nikki Haley versus Ron DeSantis GOP debate. I don't know. Where'd you hear that?
Look up Ron DeSantis.
I did. Nothing's coming up with him dropping out.
I
Did
saw it on the
Ron
news.
DeSantis drop out? Ron DeSantis responded to rumors he may drop out in 2024 race should he lose to former President Trump in the Iowa caucus. DeSantis told Fox News' Bill
Oh, maybe he didn't
Milligan
drop
at a
out.
town hall event in Grimes, Iowa, that the rumors were categorically false and a lie.
I could have sworn that I saw a report on the news that he dropped out.
Someone probably did report it.
Maybe.
Anything can go in the news.
No, he did.
He did?
No, Chris Christie.
Fuck Chris Christie.
Yeah, who gives a fuck about him? No, I got it wrong. My bad. Chris Christie. But there was a rumor about DeSantis dropping out.
Yeah, I mean, just said there was.
Yeah. But my theory is that he drops out, DeSantis drops out, and becomes the vice president for Nikki Haley. And Nikki Haley becomes the president, or that's who they'll push, and DeSantis as her VP. That's their strategy.
Yeah, it is probably going to go Republican next. It flips Republican, Democrat every
But-
now and again because
Maybe I'm talking out my ass. I don't know. I just don't think. Right now, okay, if you had to think logically, Donald Trump's getting in office next. Like, if I had to just say there's no corruption, just from what I see and the support that I see he gets, I would say Donald Trump. But I just don't think that they let him in the White House. I think that
Probably
they
not.
do whatever they can to avoid. But yeah,
well, when are elections? November?
yes.
We'll find out in November. We'll probably find out before that.
Bro, shit's going to go down before November. I swear
know.
some shit's going to pop off.
Supposedly, I was told by an inside source by my friend who is in the Air Force that someone told him of a more senior position than he is that shit's going on in February.
And he did not inquire further, and it pissed me off because I
Yeah.
want to fucking know.
Supposedly, that's what I was told. I'm playing Jeremy Corbell here.
Well, that's what I was told.
Supposedly February is going down.
I guess we're going to have to wait, but
We are.
I want to know.
I know. We'll find out in February, maybe.
That's bullshit.
All right. Well, we'll call it here. Catch you guys next week at the Stuck at the Airport podcast.
Have a good one.